Hello, welcome to another episode of Umineko. We had a little break. Because I had an ear infection for almost a week, but I'm all better now. Uh, so I can actually read things again because that was very difficult. I don't like taking breaks, I really don't. I just want to keep going because I love this game so much, but here we are. But yes, hello, welcome. We were just talking in the chat about the sprites of the game. I think I've mentioned this before, so if you've been watching for a while, you'll know that I use a mod that applies the PlayStation sprites and CGs to the game, backgrounds as well, all of it. To kind of spice things up, make things more interesting for myself, because I already played the game in its original form when it first came out. And that's why every time there's a CG, I go like, because I haven't seen that before ever. I managed to avoid them entirely until now, which is great because every time the surprise is real. And I actually really enjoy the original sprites. I really do. I think they do what they're supposed to very well, which is convey the emotions of the characters. And I'm not a big fan of the Steam ones because they're a bit weird. They're not very aesthetically pleasing. And everybody looks smug all the time. Which, in a game where you rely on the visuals to really get into the emotions of a character, is not very useful. So I'm not a big fan of those. The PlayStation ones do a lot better with that. Or have been so far. I'm very pleased with that. Anyway, that was a little ramble to start off with. Also, thank you, Kat, for liking my VTuber model. I'm actually working on improving him, but I have been very lazy about that. And the ear infection did not help. But that's okay. There will be time in the future. I should start us off with a content warning. And not forget, like I do sometimes. Content warning for this game, this episode. I say episode as in the whole arc. Not that doesn't mean that all of this is going to be in this specific episode, but you know the drill by now, probably. So just if any of this isn't your jam, look after yourself, go do something that is your jam. And have fun. And be safe. Content warning, child abuse, bullying, to pretty extreme extents in some cases. That's why it's in there. Character deaths, detailed descriptions of gore and body horror, mentions of suicide, misogyny, and some awkward skeeviness from Battler, our protagonist, but he's getting better, so. I think a lot of the creepy shit that he said, we've seen it, basically. I don't know how to explain that in a way that doesn't make him sound bad, but he says bad things. He says weird things that are uncomfortable. But he won't do that in the future so much anymore. But the warning's there just in case, so you're prepared and ready. In case I forgot about any of these instances. He just likes his cousins platonically, and he describes it in a way that makes me uncomfortable. But yes, you're right. And yeah, all of the stuff that is in the content warning, not all of it. A lot of the stuff is not my jam, but some of it, kind of my jam. But, this game gets very serious and very real in some instances, and, I think it's good to be honest about that. There's some bits that I had to read that made even me uncomfortable or feel a little like, ugh, I don't like this, but it's just part of the genre to a degree. But yes. I'm trying to think of what happened last time, while also trying to avoid going on a ramble about how sometimes, darker subjects can be not entertaining so much as, make you feel stuff and that's good. Well, ramble over. That's all I wanted to say. I should have checked this beforehand, shouldn't I? If I was a pro streamer, I would have made sure that I had a recap ready. I'm not a pro streamer. Yes, we are on episode 4 out of 4 for the first half of the series as a whole. That's all the question arcs, and then once we wrap this one up, we're going to start with the answer arcs. And that is episodes 5 to 8. Oh, thank you, Lulu. If you say so, then I must be a pro streamer. Gosh. Yes, last time we discovered that Ange is familiar with the stakes, the 7 stakes of purgatory. That is what we discovered. That she's interacted with them before and that she can summon them at will. Although what summon means is still a bit iffy, like we don't quite know what all of that means. Oh my god. Okay, well, if you say it in red, then it has to be true. Gosh. So basically this is what we're about to be seeing is a flashback on how Ange lives together, befriends the stakes. I really cannot remember what happened, which is terrible, but no, it's coming back to me now. Ange and Maria are in 12 years in the future after the incident on the island. Maria's dead. Long story. You already know this. I don't need to explain. It's fine. Because if none of this makes sense to you, turn back, go watch the VODs. Oh, we're starting with a lot of chaos today. Oh well. Maria, from her spirit essentially, as far as we can tell, is teaching Ange how to do magic. After some sort of incident happened that we don't know about yet, which caused Ange to not do any magic anymore. Even though they were friends and learning magic together in the past. And then the incident happened, and her family never came back, and now she's kind of rekindling the relationship with her cousin through Maria's diary. That's pretty much how that goes. And I would love to have a blue highlight thingy, but Twitch only lets you have one, so that's technologically impossible at the moment. If that ever changes, I will add another one. But yes. Chaos aside, sorry about that, let's get on with the actual story that you're all here for, and that I'm hyped about. I was being dead serious about adding a blue filter if I can. I would love to do that. One day. Hey, that's mine. Give it back. No, I'll eat it. Asmo, pass. Over here, Levione-sama. I wonder where they swiped it from. They were fighting over a donut or something, playing around really loudly. Hey! Ange-sama is reading, so can't you be a little more quiet? Yelling stuff like that makes you the loudest one, Satan. Be silent. You foolish little sister. You're the loud one, Lucifer-one-sama. Is there something you'd like to say to me? I was already used to the oldest and the third oldest sister arguing with each other. Even though they're both so quick to anger, it's a bit funny how they're both having to hold back a little. They might be surprisingly like each other. You were told to be noisy, but this is a bit too much. Should I make them lower the volume a little? They can mess around all they want. It's 100 times more pleasant than that shrill laughter in the classroom. Ange-sama, go to the next page, quickly. You read really slow. You like to read, Maman. You look like you'd be the worst at doing boring things. Maman controls greed. That also includes a thirst for knowledge. Still, she wants to keep that knowledge all for herself, so be warned that she refuses to let people read any book you give her, and sometimes burns them after reading them. I like knowing things that no one else knows. I like being able to do things that no one else can do. So I like studying and practicing, because I want to keep wisdom that no one else knows about all to myself. As Maman said that, her eyes sparkling, she peered down at the page that was open and read through it again. You could see the greed that made her covet that page even more thoroughly than I did. As you can see, my magical power has grown much stronger than it was on the first day I summoned them. By now I've gotten so that I can summon all of the 7 Sisters of Purgatory at once, and still calmly read a book like this. This place, although I can't recall exactly where it is a quiet and calm street-side bench. I'd been young back then, so I don't remember the details of its location. Still, I remember that my days walking here were a lot of fun. Together with Dad, Mom, and even Oni-chan. It was a memory of a very rare and very happy day when everyone had been together. The people who walked by every once in a while didn't notice me. They just pleasantly ignored me and passed by as though everything was normal. Even the 7 sisters' incredible outfits weren't embarrassing or anything, because it wasn't like anyone was actually watching. Come to think of it, I'm getting pretty used to it. As long as they don't make me wear those. I was sitting on a stylish bench, memorizing a timeline for world history. In an academy system where everything is based on collective responsibility, there's no tolerance for dunces. It seemed that I was considerably below the average grade for the class. According to those extremely intellectual girls, if I alone improved my grade, the average would rise drastically. Ouch. Ah. They had been kind enough to show me with a graph drawn by colorful pens on a B4 sheet of drawing paper. Just thinking of the effort it had taken to draw that was repulsive. But I've already spat out all those complaints. I've already voiced my constant and furious anger and sadness to these girls here. The sisters were sometimes indignant, sometimes sympathetic, and sometimes mourned along with me. I was truly happy to be able to share emotions like that with friends. It's said that they were originally furniture that existed to carry out Beatrice's cruel sacrifice ceremony. According to the occult message bottle I hated, it seems that several of them even attacked my family. But I don't believe that, and it's pointless to question them about it. They are furniture, so they only respond to their master's requests. Even if they really did attack my family, I can't hate them. What I really hated was the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Or else that ringleader of the Ushinomiya's suspicion, Aunt Ava. Ange-sama, quickly, the next page. Oh, sorry. I'm tired. Mind if I take a break? Ange-sama said break. Let's play. Ange-sama, let's play. When they noticed that I had interrupted my studying, the most energetic youngest sisters gathered around me. And that wasn't all. Even Maria One-chan and Sakutaro showed themselves. They had probably been very close by, but they must have hid themselves so they wouldn't interrupt my studying.
Uryu, Ange, how's studying?
Kya, Sakutaro, how are you?
Wait a second, let me squeeze him too.
Don't we always say that the first one to get there wins? Kya, cute.
You're crushing me.
Your luck ran out when you showed up while all the 7 sisters were gathered. Give up and let us hug you. Come on. It always turns out this way. That came out way lower than intended. I'm sorry, Satan. I apologize for my stupid older and younger sisters.
Sakutaro's happy to meet everyone too. How's it going, Ange? How's the studying going?
Thanks. Well, not bad. They were nice enough to pass around printouts from a quiz that another class took earlier. Their beautiful sense of solidarity is enough to bring tears to my eyes. Well, at least it's probably better to put a timeline into my head.
Uri, you sure are good at studying, Ange. You'll be able to get a lot of points, Uri. Good work. I was terrible at studying, so I'm jealous of you for being able to get a good score when you study hard.
Joking. When it comes to English, Latin, and knowledge of the occult, you are much more amazing for being able to remember so much. Sakutaro's the same as the Steam version? That's awesome.
I can remember anything when studying magic, but I can't remember anything boring.
Ah, word, I understood.
So that didn't help at all for tests.
Well, it's true that occult knowledge would be like that, but your grades must have been pretty good in English, right?
In the first year of elementary school, on a Japanese language test, there was a problem when I was given a picture of a gun and was told to write its name in 4 squares. It got marked wrong because I wrote the English word rifle in katakana.
That's raifuru. Is, what that said. Why? Doesn't that fit?
It was supposed to be the Japanese word for gun in hiragana. Teppo?
Am I doing that right? I'm rusty.
I was told that's wrong, because you don't learn katakana in 1st grade. I didn't really get it. So from that day on tests, I wrote everything in hiragana. But I got in trouble with Mama for some reason. Got in trouble with the teachers too.
You were probably born in the wrong country, One-chan.
Then I'd rather have been born in a country of witches, so I could enter a witch school. Ew. If that happened, you might have had much more wonderful magical friends. Ew. Ew. But it's not like I mind it now. After all, I can use lots of magic, and I've got a lot of magic friends. Sakutaro is all I need. I'm not the only one. There's also Sakusuke and Sakukichi, the animal band, Shimura-kun the seal, Sanae-san the rabbit, Mr. P-kun, and plenty more.
Incredible. The number of One-chan's friends keeps increasing. Every time I ask, the number of names for her friends grows. But there's no doubt that Sakutaro is her best friend. I'm a little jealous of all those close friends.
What do you think? How are the 7 sisters? Do you get along with them?
Those sisters are really energetic. They sometimes say shady stuff, but they aren't bad. I'd wanted to get a cute kid like Sakutaro, but I think being with them now is more than enough.
If you learn more of my magic of origins, I'm sure you'll be able to give birth to friends you'll like, Ange. Creation is still a bit too hard for you now.
There's a difference between creation and summoning, and resurrection is also different.
So, your greatest wish really is to revive your family?
Yes. I have a vessel for it. Yes.
Oh, that's right. I'm sure that hair accessory will eventually become the key to summoning Battler. The rest is up to your training, Ange.
Although, not knowing how long it'll take is enough to make me cry.
Uryu, stay strong, even if it's tough. If you don't give up, Ange, it will definitely come true someday.
If someone gave me some proof that it'd definitely be granted, at least that would calm my heart.
Uryu, then I guarantee it. Without a doubt, Ange will surely have a wish granted someday.
Thanks. I'm glad to hear it. even if you're just saying it to console me.
It's not like that, Uryu. Stop it, Ange. That kind of emotion will turn into the magic-resisting toxin. Magic-resisting toxin. The feeling that your dreams will definitely come true is the best seed that buds into magic power.
That's right. Sorry, teacher. You need to be a bit greedier, Ange-sama. Go however far it takes to get the thing you desire. You're lacking the willpower to never give up until you get it.
Uryu. That isn't true. I'm just doing her best.
Thanks, Sakutaro, Mamon. Crying about it won't help anything. There's nothing I can do except hang in there. I'll try hard. I'll grit my teeth. I'll definitely make my dreams come true. With certainty.
Uryu. You're awesome, Ange. Do your best. Mamon and I will support you.
Yes, we'll support you. The greedier our master is, the more our worth will increase. Reading is hard.
More importantly, Ange-sama, we finally got 10 people gathered here. We plan to have everyone play shiritori or something. If you lose, there's a punishment game. Let me nibble your ears.
Come on, is hunger the only thing inside that head of yours? Please forgive my foolish sister's stupid proposals. Are you sure it isn't about time you return to your study?
No. I waited so long for you to finish studying, so I can't stand it if you don't play with us.
I don't think it's a bad idea. Perhaps playing every once in a while is good for softening the mind. You govern sloth, right, Belfa? What you're saying sounds reasonable, but you're actually being sneaky, aren't you? My apologies. You are diligent, Ange-sama.
If it's okay with Ange, I'd also like to play with everyone. Let's make some noise. It'll definitely be fun. Uryu. Ange, let's play. Let's all do shiritori.
In that case, let's start from Sakutaro's Uryu. In that case, which sound should we start the next word from? Ryu? Or you?
From Uryu? I wonder. Maybe it really should be Uryu.
It's rare for a word that ends like that to come up. Then I'm first. I'll do a word starting with Ryu. Ryuzi. Watch crown.
I wanted to go first. Rito would have been wonderful.
Which means loot. Zoo. Feels like we keep getting tough ones. Wait a sec, what order are we going in? Who's next?
Uryu. I don't think it matters who. Whoever thinks of a matching word first. What's that? Sounds interesting. How about the person who can say the most wins? It's fast-talking shiritori. Then I'll go. Zucchini.
Oh my god, Beelzebub. Always hungry. Hey Jester, welcome to the stream, how are you doing? We're playing a game of shiritori.
Zucchini. Niniku itame.
Garlic stir fry.
Mekabu with pasta. All of them delicious. Yeah, I said 3 of them.
Balance takes 3 points. Can you use conjunctions? If you could use with, then anything would work. That last one doesn't count. -1 point. Let's start from me.
Then I'll go. Merengue. Ge? Uryu.
Well, 8-day work streak? Damn. I hope you're having a chill day today. Gesuido. Drainage system. Umetachi. Techi. That's hard to pronounce. Reclaimed land. Chikasi Shitsu. Basement. How do you like them apples? I feel like Lucifer sounded different in the past, but I forgot, so that's what she sounds like now.
One-sama, those are all pretty crummy words. So what? Then why don't you try following it up with something refined? Anyway, that's 3 points from me. The next one's 2. Okay, 2. I've never played such a weird shiritori before. Ooh, it's fun. Uryu. I don't get it at all, but it's fun. Uryu.
I've played normal shiritori before, but I've never experienced a shiritori this weird. There's only the lively 7 sisters, Maria One-chan, Sakutaro, and me. I'm now surrounded by friends that are so fun to be with. The courage to accept a world of magic, a world of witches, that alone didn't change the fact that I was still locked up in an academy, without a single friend in my class. But despite that, I'm able to have such a fun and lively time. I'll also become a witch, like Maria One-chan. And someday, I'll add my family to this fun circle. Dad, Mom, and One-chan. And if possible, George One-chan and Jessica One-chan. And the other relatives. I'll call everyone here without a single person missing. And we'll all gather together. This is my dream. That's right. Until I make that come true, I definitely won't lose heart. I'm sure you'll become a great witch, Ange-sama. As long as you believe in that. We 7 stakes of purgatory will always serve by your side until that day comes. You'll be there for me? No matter how long. You'll lend me your strength? Of course. After all, I'm your friend. Right, Ange-sama? Yes, that's right. Let's all stick together and play together. Today and in the future, always, always. Until the day your dream comes true, Ange-sama. The lively 10-person game of shiritori, alongside a street cut off from time, under the constantly bright rays of the sun, could have continued forever. Wait, seriously? What's going on, Shiromiya-san? In the end, I wasn't able to get a very good grade on my test. I tried memorizing things my own way, but if you could manage anything by cramming the night before a test, no one would ever worry about tests. Normally, when you know the problems beforehand, you should be able to pass easily, right? Easily. It's true that we didn't go so far as to write the answers into the blanks for you. We thought you'd studied at least that much. What the hell? Come on, are you serious? I can't believe it. They're almost all wrong, aren't they? Did you really study properly? More or less. This isn't what you call more or less, Ushiromiya-san. It's so horrible that it makes me dizzy, okay? Oh god. Please forgive her for getting a miserable grade on such an easy test, and for making the average score for the entire class plummet. The same test had been given in another class first. That test paper had been obtained, so the average score for our class had been unusually high, enough to obscure my slight improvement. However, there were some things I had no excuse for. If I'd spent that entire day studying like mad, I might have been able to get a slightly higher score. But I hadn't gone that far. After that, on that day, I spent the whole time having fun playing shiritori with the 7 sisters, Sakutaro and One-chan. As expected, the winner had been Maria One-chan. She was a strong player thanks to her wide knowledge of trivia. Sakutaro had gotten the punishment game. He spent the whole time cheering for everyone else's answers, completely forgetting to think of any himself. Because of that, he'd been squished by the seven sisters and had his ears thoroughly nibbled, hadn't he? Hey, are you listening, Yoshiromiya-san? They were surrounding me, twittering like small birds. They were annoying, smelly. On the outside of that circle was Mammon, an exasperated expression on her face. This is a messed up school, just like usual. Shouldn't you be more than happy as long as your own grades are good? It's probably because of that collective responsibility thing. Instead of worrying about their own grades, they're more concerned about how embarrassing it is for the class average to be low. Or maybe it's because they really hate the volunteer work they're forced to do as punishment. So, in other words, they aren't studying because they want their grades to be good, but because of collective responsibility and since they hate volunteer work. They're jealous and embarrassed. They don't want to be inferior to anyone, and they don't want to be humiliated. That's the only feeling that drives them to study. What noisy people. If they want to study, why can't they just do it themselves? In the end, without collective responsibility and volunteer work, they'd have no desire to study. How foolish it is to study without knowing the meaning of studying. Still, these guys really are annoying and stupid. Don't you dare disturb Ange-sama's precious day for even a minute. Well, I hate those people. Just get lost. I'm hungry. Go away now. Sorry, everyone. I wonder why humans are so shameful. It's probably because, instead of working hard themselves, it's easier to make you work hard and earn them a higher class average to satisfy their greed. Humans are all greedy, and they'll burden others with their greed to make things easier for themselves. We'll eventually be reunited with them on the mountain of purgatory. When they get to the 5th terrace, they'd better watch their step. No one controls the 5th terrace on the mountain that reaches to heaven, Mount Purgatory. Since she's saying this, you can probably be sure that after those girls die, their journey to heaven won't be an easy one. No, on the contrary. Let them just fall into hell. The class committee went to the student council and applied to use a classroom during lunch and after school. The purpose of use was for a class study group. A wonderful little gathering so that they could all surround me and make me study. I'm so grateful I could cry. Which meant that every day, all of my lunch and 3 hours of my afternoon would be stolen. The academy and the student council, with its theme of student self-government, instantly approved of this pleasant activity that the students were taking up of their own initiative. In other words, I was no longer able to escape after school by leaving the classroom. After school, the first class study group meeting started right away. Would they open a textbook, then kindly and carefully explain so that even I could understand it? Of course, it didn't turn out like such a naive illusion. After school in the classroom, dozens of my classmates crowded around my desk. First, before we started studying. Why were my grades so bad? What was the reason? It was decided that we couldn't start until I could clearly answer those questions, become aware of the problem, and show regret for my actions. Of course, there's no way for me to respond when asked a question like that. They've loathed me all this time. And they've rejected me and kept me at a distance, preventing me from joining in on their community. So I've avoided their community myself. There shouldn't have been any conflict for either of us that way. So even in this group that was enthusiastic about raising the class average, they obviously kept me at a distance. Even if I tried to join in, they would probably ignore me, like they always did in the past. If you just asked, we would have taught you whatever you wanted. Right? Right? They were getting themselves all worked up. I've already had enough of the hypocrisy of their tacked-on excuses.
Ushiromiya-san, your problem is that you're lacking a cooperative personality. You mustn't be satisfied as long as everything's good for you alone. Those who gather in St. Lucia's place of learning shall have a cooperative heart. It's written right there in the student handbook, right? I think having a cooperative heart is what gives birth to the desire to study together and contribute to the entire class. I believe that itself is the thing you lack before you even start studying, Ushiromiya-san. But what do you say? Hey, have you even been listening to us? We went to all the trouble of staying after school to say this for your sake, right? I'm so grateful I could cry. Of course they didn't like that. This way, it almost makes it look like we're bullying you. They reprimanded me. Reading is hard. Fortunately, I'm normally all cried out anyway. If I'm told not to cry, I can hold it back. First, I was made to write a letter of remorse and read it out loud. Of course, this was to be done by today. The class committee politely applied to the student council in the staff room for an extension on the use of this classroom. It seems it was accepted right away. Which means that starting now, I'll be forced into self-criticism for at least a full 5 hours here. Ushiromiya Ange got a low score on her test and caused trouble for her classmates. That's not it, right? You getting low grades and causing us trouble isn't the root of the problem, is it? It's a cooperative attitude, right? A cooperative attitude. Come on. Why do we even have to direct Ushiromiya-san on how to write a letter of regret? Their abusive jeers flew about one after another. I followed their directions and erased it. Ushiromiya Ange didn't have a cooperative attitude and caused trouble for her classmates. Hey, wait a sec, it's pointless if you just write whatever we say, right? Do you really know what regret means? It's pointless if you don't write it in your own words. Pointless. I always thought you were a bit strange, Ushiromiya-san, but you really are weird. Even following their directions didn't change the jeers much, and now it felt like they were mocking me even more. One sec. I need some water. So, for several more hours, without rest, without even being allowed to go to the bathroom, much less dinner, I was continuously abused. I was coerced into writing a paragraph that humiliated myself. At about 9 that night, I was told to stand up and read it aloud. The contents were smeared black with tears and eraser marks. It certainly was my handwriting, but it was like a list of soulless letters, whose contents I couldn't even remember. Everything had been copied down according to their orders, so while I had been the one to write the letters, they weren't my words. I'd been coerced into writing them down, and even coerced into reading them aloud. Even after all this time, I was surprised to learn that, beyond just ignoring people and hiding their things, there are other ways to bully people. Hey, read it aloud, quickly. Look how many people are staying this late just for you, Ushiromiya-san. Why not just thank us a little? Isn't the fact that she doesn't feel gratitude a sign that she doesn't have a scrap of cooperative attitude? It's okay, Ushiromiya-san. We'll always be with you from now on. Why not study with us and remake yourself, okay? As I stood by my seat, surrounded by them, I dropped my gaze towards the blackened page. And then, I spoke those humiliating words. But right away, jeers flew at me saying that they couldn't hear and to speak up. I can't read it. I had no idea that
being forced to read a paragraph humiliating me would be so painful. My throat shook. My fingertips shook. The paragraph of humiliation written in my own handwriting made my eyes burn with a hot liquid. So my world blurred and twisted. I saw the girls surrounding me twist and bend. I saw them twist and bend into the impression I had of them. In other words, that was my true field of vision. Beyond that twisted crowd of people, I could see my friends. Compassion could be seen in all of their eyes.
Ange, stay strong. What are you?
Maria Onechan and Sakutaro were looking at me with sad eyes. Probably because they realized that even cheap words of compassion would hurt me. They kept alternating between trying to say something and hanging their heads.
What the hell is wrong with these people? They're just the worst. Really pisses me off. What's so fun about gathering around Ange-sama and torturing her? It's a resentment they can't voice despite their jealousy. They don't care who it hurts, as long as they can let it out. What horrible people.
Ange-sama, in this kind of situation, it's okay to go mad with rage for your own honor's sake. Anger is an appropriate emotion and an appropriate reaction. If you don't get mad now, when will you get mad?
Stop it.
Don't stir Ange-sama up with cheap anger. If Ange-sama could do that, she would have done it already. You should only get angry if doing so will improve the situation. However, from an objective standpoint, doing that now would probably only aggravate the situation further. It may be humiliating, but the wisest thing to do now is to withstand it. You really are a sloth, Belva. Quit fooling around. I can't stand this. I can't forgive them.
Everyone calm down. It'll become a burden for Ange.
A burden? What are you talking about? Is this the time or place to be calm? We furniture are not so cruel as to coolly watch when our master is humiliated. Ange-sama, you have no obligation to read such a humiliating letter. If you can't let out a cry of rage, then at least throw it onto the floor. You don't need to trash talk them. You don't need to yell so loud that they bend over backwards. Just throw the notebook on the floor with all your might. By doing just that, you'll be able to show your strong will. Don't start running on by yourself, Maman. I told you, right? If Ange-sama could do it, she would have done so long ago. Nothing will be resolved by the eruption of momentary emotions. Can't you see that doing that will only make their treatment of Ange-sama even more severe?
Wow. Why is this happening to Ange-sama when she didn't do anything wrong? Well, not letting her eat dinner and making her stay for so long after school, I hate it.
And it's not just tonight, but tomorrow and the day after too. That's enough. You can't simply sit there bearing this humiliation. Hey, are you really listening to us? Someone tugged at my hair. I was torn back into my tragic reality. I was no longer even permitted to listen to the seven sisters speaking on my behalf in my heart. My hair was lifted upwards and one of my hair ornaments came off, and I could hear the sound of it rolling on the ground. No one picked it up. To the contrary, they casually avoided it as though something filthy was rolling towards them. I tried to follow it with my eyes, but my hair was tugged upwards again. Why do you never listen to us, even though we're talking about something so serious? In one ear and out the other, is it? Does anything get into that thick skull of yours? Get a grip, okay? Are you really conscious of the trouble you're causing us? You aren't going to start saying that you just wrote it grudgingly because we told you to, right? Until you really show regret of your own will, this seriously isn't going to end, okay? It's not just for today. It'll seriously keep on going tomorrow and the day after, you see. Don't you play us for fools, okay? I mean, why are you still even alive? Is it normal to go on living like this? If it were me, I'd just die. You can't live like this, can you? Because you being alive just means getting in other people's way all the time, right? If it were me, I definitely couldn't live on. Yeah, I'd die too. If doing that's better for the world, then I'd die right away, right? Then die. Ange-sama. Kill all of them now. Lucifer, can you hear me? You seven sisters of purgatory are incredible furniture that can massacre mere humans in a flash, right? You're always boasting about it to me. Then do it. Massacre them right now. Right here, right now. Well... For some reason, Lucifer hesitated. Why? What's wrong? You're certain kill furniture that can fly around faster than the eye can see and instantly pierce the heart of a witch's enemies, right? And I'm giving you an order as your master. Carry it out right away. Kill. Kill them all. Ange-sama, please, calm down. If they had immediately followed my brutal order, making heaps of corpses with me at the center, I was ready to reflect on my own reckless actions of stealing human lives so readily, ready to regret and repent, just as they had wanted me to. Hey Camel, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How'd your stream go? Was it good? I mean, it sounded good. I was listening. Also, thank you for the bits. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm gonna keep reading now. I was prepared to do that. And yet, Lucifer just let an unsure expression rise to her face and didn't move to carry out my order. I knew it. Yeah, I knew it. Vaguely. No, that's not right. I've known from the beginning. I've known that magic was all empty this whole time, haven't I? The Seven Sisters of Purgatory? Yeah, right. Stupid. So pointless. I've known it the whole time. Alright, have fun, Jester, and thank you for dropping by. Have a good night. Ange-sama. I glared to the worthless Lucifer's eyes, and pain seemed to accompany that gaze. As though she was being assaulted with a violent headache, Lucifer grasped her head with both arms. But it looked like she couldn't tear her eyes off my gaze. So she was assaulted with a pain that grew more and more violent. Useless. I hate you. Disappear. You're nothing but a delusion inside my head. Hopelessness and disappointment. Resignation and a dream's end. A cracking sound, like you'd hear from a frozen lake's surface during a fierce winter, rang out just once. At the same time, Lucifer's form, which was being tormented by a violent pain, stiffened in place and grew cloudy. It was almost as though a beautifully polished glass window had been heartlessly smashed and turned white from the countless fissures. And that was an accurate analogy. At some point, Lucifer's form had turned into a glass ornament of the same shape. Countless fissures ran through it from the inside, and as the head and arms collapsed, it crumbled to the floor. Lucine. Who's the second sister? Leviathan? Carry out my order. Massacre them right now. No, Ange-sama. Please calm your heart and listen. I'm not looking for excuses or backtalk or an answer. I want nothing more than a swift confirmation of my order to eradicate the girls who are humiliating me. If you're going to say anything else, there's no need for me to listen until the end. After Leviathan also turned white due to countless cracks throughout her whole body, she fell over backwards, splitting into separate parts along her neck, hips, and arms. If she'd been smashed to bits and lost her original form, it probably wouldn't have seemed so brutal. So seeing the two of them halfway left over made the remaining younger sisters shake even harder. Why won't you listen to my orders? Why? Why? My apologies. Here, under the current conditions, the anti-magic power is extremely strong and... What's that? You can't do it because humans are here? That's your logic? Isn't killing humans what you do? If you can't do that, then what use are you as furniture? Die. Please spare me, Ange-sama. As she clutched her head with both arms, Satan also turned white and fell down face first. Apparently, the neck is the most slender part after all. Her head slid off and rolled over to Belphegor's feet. You can't do it because there are too many humans? Then later on I'll call them into the shadows one by one, and you can make a bloodbath of all of them, right? With your current magical power, it may be easy for you to converse with us. However, you still lack the training to materialize us in front of all the humans here. I deeply understand your anger, but even if you could use us to attack and murdered everyone here, that would only make your situation worse. I know it's humiliating, but please control your anger for the time being. Will I get the same answer from the next three? Are you gonna tell me you can't do it because the anti-magic power is too great? Are you gonna tell me you can't do it because my magical power is too weak? Then I won't ask you to kill all of them. Just one person's fine, so try and kill them. Right here, right now. As Asmodeus and Beelzebub held each other, they crouched down, cringing in fear under my glare. If they'd been able to obey my order, they probably would have carried it out immediately. And yet, here they were, crouching down. Empty, sad, and pathetic. That's right, I've known. These girls can't even touch reality with one of their fingers. No, Bells, I'm scared, Bells. Ange-sama, please spare us. I don't want to die. Die, useless furniture. Why are you guys even alive? Why are you alive when your lives are worthless? It doesn't matter if you die, right? Die. I'm telling you to die. Do you think any idiot would leave furniture that has no use lying around? Please stop, Ange-sama. What is it, Mom? Are you gonna be the only one to fulfill my order? That's right. You're my best friend. You alone will do it for me. Get them. As you are right now, Ange-sama, even if you use us, you aren't capable of committing murder. It's furniture's duty to help with the things their master can do. Things that even the master can't do, we can't do. Do you hate them, Ange-sama? You do hate them, right? I totally understand why you would want to kill them. Okay, in that case, go ahead and kill them, Ange-sama. If you stain your own hands with blood, then we, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, will go along with you however far you go. I'm asking you all because I can't do it myself, aren't I? Isn't being able to do things I can't do the thing that makes you furniture? Yes, we are furniture. Furniture to be used. Please, go ahead and use us to kill. You'll be the one killing, Ange-sama. If you are saying that you want to kill, then go ahead and be my guest. No need to hesitate. Go and carry it out right now. And once you've prepared yourself mentally, once you're prepared to dirty your own hands, then we'll help you. But you haven't done that, Ange-sama. Don't speak, furniture. You delusion. I get it already. You don't have to tell me. You people can't do anything. You're nothing more than my delusions, illusions, daydreams. I haven't had a single friend from the very beginning. You're just a phantom, a pretend friend I created in my heart, in my isolation, right? I've known from the very beginning. Yeah, that's right. We're an illusion in your head, Ange-sama. But so what? Yeah, that's true. We're just imaginary friends created to soothe lonely Ange-sama's heart because she doesn't have a single friend. But so what? If you want to look at reality, just look at it. You can stop looking at us and return to being surrounded and bathed with jeering over there. Come on, go back. Welcome home to reality. Just call on us only when it's convenient for you and pretend you have friends. Then spur us on even though you don't have the guts to dirty your own hands. Then deny and erase us once you realize that it's hopeless. Yeah, please enjoy it. I'll leave with a shriek of anguish just like you want, Ange-sama. Just copy the jeering that you're being showered with right now, and do the same to us to get it off your chest. That's also furniture's duty. Getting slammed against the floor when someone's pissed off is also a chair's important duty. If that alone can absorb their master's bad mood even for an instant, there can be no greater honor for furniture. Kill me, deny me, your first and final friend. At the end, Maman had a mocking expression on her face, but for some reason, it looked splashed with tears. Maman, Beelzebub, and Asmodeus were smashed and fell to the floor.
Come over here, Sakutaro. Ange's a little agitated right now, so you mustn't get close. What about everyone else? Are all the 7 sisters alive? Did they die? It's okay. It looks gruesome, but those are the remains of their vessels after being deported from the human world. Shells that have been shed. So it's alright. They're probably deeply hurt, but they're okay. Everyone is alive. I'm sure we'll be able to meet them again someday. Ryu. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Ange has violated the contract of mariage sorcière. To do such a horrible thing, even the witches of the Alliance must respect and accept one another. Even though they were all important friends to you, Ange.
No witches' alliance has anything to do with this. Magic friends, give me a break. I killed them, erased them. I smashed the 7 sisters.
Ryu, that's so cruel. So cruel.
Just give it a rest with this playing witches thing. I'm begging you. Maria, Nechan, and Sakutaro, I want you to disappear by yourselves. Even in my imagination. I don't want to kill and erase you.
We aren't your imagination. We're your friends, Ange. Ryu.
Sakutaro said that as he hid behind Maria Nechan, sobbing. Sakutaro doesn't exist. Sakutaro is also an imaginary creature Onechan created to distract herself from her loneliness.
Ryu, it hurts. It hurts. Maria. Why Why? Uryu. Stop it. Denying my friend is the one thing I will not permit.
The same power that had smashed the seven sisters was probably eating into Sakutaro as well. But Maria Onechan was apparently protecting him with some other power. My voice quit. So Sakutaro's form didn't break and scatter. Onechan glared at me sharply. It was a serious expression that I'd never seen before.
Sakutaro is my furniture. You cannot erase him, Ange. However, trying to deny someone is the greatest form of scorn for a witch.
Sakutaro didn't exist from the very beginning. He's just a lion stuffed animal. A phantom you personified with the delusions inside your own mind.
Ugh. That's not true. Sakutaro is my friend. He was a stuffed animal once, but now he isn't.
No, he's a stuffed animal. A stuffed animal made of cloth and cotton. He can't move or talk by himself. You're just talking for him like a ventriloquist, right? You call that magic? You call that a witch? You call that a friend? I can't accept that.
Uryu. Am I not me? Am I just a stuffed animal that can't really talk and not Maria's friend?
As though struck with a high fever, Sakutaro weakened bit by bit. As he clung to Onechan's body, he did all he could to continue standing, but his body began to gradually slip down. As he did, Onechan held him, yelling at me as tears streamed down her face.
Ugh. Stop it! Don't burn Sakutaro with the magic-resisting toxin. Don't bully him. Don't insult him. Don't deny him. Maria Onechan, you're so weird. There is no Sakutaro. Stuffed animals are stuffed animals. I learned from Mama that they're made of cloth and cotton. There's no way they can walk or talk. Uryu. Sakutaro, you weren't a stuffed animal. You weren't a stuffed animal. You were a friend. Ugh. Instead of playing with stuffed animals, it's better to play outside with everyone. I'm bored with stuffed animals already. I hate you, Ange. Ugh. Why say something like that? I hate. I hate you. You're not my friend. I won't let you be one of us witches anymore. Upon my name, the apprentice witch of origins, Maria, I hereby expel the apprentice witch Ange from the Mariage Sorcière Alliance of Witches.
And then, what had been peaceful days to me became a daydream and ended. By now, it's impossible to prove. No one can verify whether that really was magic or whether those really were my friends. Or else nothing more than a daydream. I, the sole observer, concluded that they were a daydream. So that became the truth. Perhaps in the farther future I'll observe it again. And when that happens, maybe I'll acknowledge that it wasn't a dream, that the seven sisters really were my friends, and that along with Maria Onechan and Sakutaro, they did everything they could for me in my isolation. Something so vague is neither the truth nor an illusion. Maybe the reality here and now is the only world with the real me. Where is the real me? The person standing amidst the girl's exposed wreckage that resembles broken glass sculptures. That girl is breathing harshly, her shoulders heaving, isn't me. I'm over there. The me that's surrounded by a crowd and being showered by jeers, and who's hanging her head, her eyes red, isn't the me over there. The real me? I won't dream anymore, because there's nowhere left to run. I'm going back. I'll return myself to the cage made of flesh. Hey, are you listening to us? It's not like anything will be resolved. You just stand there hanging your head, right? I hear you. You finally answered. You weren't thinking that this will end if you stay silent, or that we'll forgive you if you cry, right? We're asking if you're aware. We're asking if you're aware of the trouble you're causing those around you. I slowly nodded. I acknowledged it. I acknowledged that I had slipped into the world of my daydream, trying to remain separate from the others in my class. To separate myself from and disgrace those sisters who spoke to me with reliable and kind words, despite being totally unable to help me when I really wanted them to. I acknowledged that. I, Ushirami Ange, do not have a cooperative attitude and cause trouble for my classmates. There's nothing to blame for that, except my excessive inferiority complex towards all of my classmates because of my inability to study. And it's a shame that I'm alive. Starting there, I was no longer reading the paragraph they'd made me write. It was me improvising. And it was what was in my heart. They noticed that it wasn't what they had anticipated, but while they did frown, no one spoke. So I continued. That's right. It's a shame that I lived. I should have had them take me with them on that day in 1986, and yet I was the only one who wasn't taken. Why am I here? This isn't the world I'm supposed to be in. No one will save me. For a time I felt as though only the fictional friends I created inside myself could save me. But those friends were nothing more than a delusion, and they didn't save me at all. After all, this isn't a world of imagination, but a world of reality. So, in short, up until today, I've been having the same daydream. I hated my real classmates and only lived by interacting with the friends in my mind. Just now, I split up with those friends. So I am here. I have no family. I've thrown my friends away too. There's no longer anything left for me. Why haven't I died? Someone asked that a short while ago. I think they're right. Why am I alive? I should have died in the year 1986. No, I must really have died. And yet, my dead soul is still locked up inside this cage of flesh. So I'll ask someone. If no one answers, I'll do it myself. Please, let me die. I spoke that sentence and looked around. Dumbfounded girls. Shocked girls. Girls whose faces seemed to be saying, "What the heck is this kid talking about?" And, a bit late, more and more girls with faces that said, "Is this girl alright?" Whispers, chatter, and then giggle. When I ordered the friends in my daydream to kill, they couldn't do it. And so, I asked real humans to kill me. But of course these girls can't do it either. In other words, both daydreams and reality are the same. Doesn't this mean that, including this world, absolutely everything is a daydream? Then there's no problem, right? After all, on that day when I lost my family, I was already dead. Everything that happened afterwards is going on in my head, my life flashing before my eyes after I failed to die. Once I understood that, it felt like the scenery surrounding me began to twist and bend slightly. Yeah, I'll finally wake up. I'll be released from this daydream world. I feel my consciousness sliding away. That's alright. Fade further and further away and take me to my family. Then, no matter what happens in this twisted, stale world, I won't mind it at all. I saw the crowd get pushed aside as a teacher stepped in. Perhaps a teacher doing the rounds happened to notice a strange disturbance. The teacher was vigorously shouting something, moving to protect me. Watching that, I knew that an ally had appeared for me, even if there was only one, and I felt my awareness return, very slightly. The only ones who can save me in the world of reality are real humans. Never again. Never again will I seek rescue from daydreams. This is the world of humans. Nothing can save a human, except other humans.
I see. If that's what you think, then that's your world, Ange. Can Ange find happiness this way? If Ange believes that's the only way to find happiness, then it's the only way. If she can't accept the blue bird in the cage for what it is, then she must go and search forever. Maria, are you breaking off relations with Ange? No, nothing. Nothing like that. I only did that because that's what Ange wanted. We witches are sometimes persecuted. However, we always remain by everyone's sides, and our aid can always be asked for. Will the day come when Ange will play with us once again? Maybe. Or she might forget, and it'll never come. In the human world, we call that growing up and saying goodbye to your childhood self. Still, if Ange just remembers, we'll always be by her side. And until then, we'll be waiting. What an arc indeed. I have to say, I initially read this, gosh, like, how does math work? 10 years ago or so? Something like that? That part hit me harder now than it did 10 years ago. When I was like a lot closer to like school kid age. Interesting how that works. I'm gonna drink some water real quick. I did my best. It's hard sometimes, the reading. But, you know, it's worth it. I'm just checking real quick to see when I'm gonna take my break. I don't know how long exactly the next few scenes are, but I'll keep going for a bit longer. And I'm glad you're having fun. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I say this a lot, but I like being able to share this series with others, and you know, entertaining people's fun. Oh no, yeah, don't worry about interrupting me, because if I don't want to be interrupted, I'll just keep reading. Don't worry about that. Okay. Yes, good. We're good. Need some more water.
Okay. It's a lot rougher doing some of these scenes than earlier on in the series, because the stakes and Sakutaro and Maria, they all have very high-pitched voices, and that's just a lot rougher on my voice. It's very hard for me to do. It's similarly difficult to do like the dads, because then I have to do the opposite. I have to go lower. I can't do that either. Also, thank you for the save redeem, Hulu. It's I can't do the voices either. I don't know. It feels like I'm not. When I hear myself, I can't hear the difference at all between the voices, even though I feel it like when I'm talking. But as long as they're like different enough that you can tell a different person's talking, that's all I care about, really, ultimately. I'm not trying to show off or anything here. I'm not a voice actor. Yeah, Kinzo in the anime, he has a really low voice and yells all the time. Amazing. I can't do that. I can't even yell in my own voice. Let me just check. I think we're good. I think we're good to go.
Who do you... Maria, answer me.
I know I said I would keep going, but isn't her outfit just so cute? Look at that. I think there's even like little bunny ears. Ugh, so cute.
Who do you... So, I really am a stuffed animal. I'm made of cloth and cotton. So there's no way I can talk. So, I can't talk to Maria.
Yeah, I think compared to the other versions, the PS3 version is the only one where the characters have different outfits, just like in their daily lives to a degree. Most characters have 1 to 2 outfits, sometimes 3. And they have a few more in the PS3 version, and that's what we're looking at right now. Sakutaro looked up at Maria sadly. Maria's face was covered with tears, and it looked as though it had even lost all traces of sadness.
Ugh. I hear you, Sakutaro. You aren't a stuffed animal made of cloth and cotton. You are my friend. I hate Ange. Ugh. Who do you... Sorry, Maria. I'm sorry, Maria. Who do you...
Sakutaro regretted doing that. By freezing her heart, Maria had finally been able to escape from her sadness. By speaking up and calling her back, it caused her to be overwhelmed with sadness again. Sakutaro tried hugging Maria, letting go of her, and gazing at her uneasily, lost as to how he could bring Maria's spirits up. He might have looked a little humorous doing that. In the end, that was enough to distract Maria from her sadness.
Sorry. Crying won't help anything anymore. You got in a fight with Ange, but you still have lots of friends, Maria. I'm not the only one. Everyone's here. Sakusuke and Sakukichi, the animal band, and many, many more.
Maria looked at the many stuffed animals around her pillow, which were gathered together as though they were having an idle chat.
Everyone is worried about you, Maria. They're all talking over and over about how to cheer you up, okay? Everyone won't go away like Ange. They won't. We'll always be together. Really? All of you are only with me at home. We can't go out together when Mama's around, and we can't go to school. I'm supposed to take us to school, so you'll get in trouble if the teacher finds out. But if no one finds out, we can be together at any time. Sakutaro, you're big, so you'd be found. Then you can take one of the kids that are small enough to walk around with. For example, what about them? If you take the friends in the forest band, look, they're small, so you can hide them in your pocket and go to school together. There's a lot of them in the band. I can't fit them all in my pocket.
She collected all of the forest band pieces that were scattered across her bed. There were about as many of them as pieces in a chess set, so it'd probably be impossible to fit them all in her pocket.
In that case, you can just take friends that you're especially close with. You can take the 4 rabbits, your best friends in the forest band. I could fit 4 in my pockets. Yeah, this way they will be found. Now you won't be alone even at school, Maria. Those kids will be with you even where I can't go. Yeah, maybe I won't be lonely that way. Maybe I can hold out until coming home from school. As long as we aren't found by the teacher and Mama, we can be with you at any time. So let's be together, play together forever. We definitely won't leave you all alone, Maria. Who do you?
Maria's expression finally regained a little of its brightness. That's right. In the beginning, Maria's world didn't have Ange in it. Even without Ange, it was fun with everyone. And yet, strangely enough, it suddenly became sad without Ange, who had come in at the end. All that's happened is that I've returned to the world right before Ange entered it. So there's nothing to be sad about.
Yeah, I'm not lonely. Sakutaro and the others are with me. Yuri. I love you, Maria. I won't let any more humans come into my world. Mariage Sorcière is an alliance between me and Beatrice only. From the start, even Beatrice didn't want to let Ange join. It's alright this way. Ange was still too young. For now, until you can be friends with Ange again, I think it's okay to forget about it. You can play together once you've regained your high spirits, Maria. Until then, all of us will be by your side. Thank you, Sakutaro, everyone.
Then, Maria once again regained her former world. She regained the world that wasn't lonely, where she was surrounded by many friends. Just like usual, she didn't have any human friends at school, but her magic friends were always with her. The rabbit band she hid in her pockets talked with her during class, sounding like they were having fun. Just listening to that greatly embellished the time she spent in class. Maria made it so that as long as Mama and the teacher didn't find out, her other friends could always be with her. When Mama told Maria to go play outside, Maria would secretly pack Sakutaro and Sakusuke and the rest into her bag and play together at the library or somewhere. Even when Mama was late coming home and Maria went shopping for dinner, she always went with Sakutaro. The man at the convenience store and the other people were nice to Sakutaro. He sometimes gave a second portion free for Maria and Sakutaro. When Mama found out, Maria would get in trouble for bringing Sakutaro and the rest outside. When the teacher found out, Maria would get in trouble for bringing toys to school. The toxin must be strong in Mama and the teacher. That's why Sakutaro looks like a normal stuffed animal to them. After all, the convenience store man and the others say hello to Sakutaro. Not all humans are hopeless. There are tons of people who, unlike Ange and Mama and the teacher, can say hello to magic friends like I can. Oh, Maria-chan, welcome. Was your mama late coming home tonight too?
Yeah, but I've got Sakutaro, so I'm not lonely. Right, Sakutaro? Good to you. It's not just Sakutaro today. Some other friends came too.
Oh, other friends, is it? What kind of friends did you bring today?
Today, the rabbits from the forest band are also with me. Look, in my pocket.
What a nice dude. Maria began to line up 4 ceramic rabbit dolls on the register. As the owner of the shop looked at it, smiling, he sent a signal to a part-timer with his chin. Then, the sign on the other register that said closed was taken down, and a voice called out for everyone to move over there. All of the people in line behind Maria lined up behind that one. I see. You do have a lot of friends, Maria-chan. But I hope your mama comes home soon.
Ooh, Mama's busy with work again, so she's spending the night at the company. It's been very busy lately. She hasn't even been able to get much time to talk to me on the telephone. But I'm not lonely. I've got Sakataro and the rest. Right? Who do you? I've even got all the rabbits from the band. Look. Cute.
Is QQ the sound a rabbit makes? My, I've never heard that. After smiling at Sakataro, who was poking his head out of her knapsack, she played around with the rabbit band on the register, making them frolic around. Although the shop manager gazed at this pleasantly, he had a slightly pitying look on his face. This was apparently a single mother household, where their mother had to work hard and couldn't come home very often. On top of that, it looked like this girl didn't even have any friends. As he watched her play around happily with her dolls and claimed that she wasn't lonely despite everything, he couldn't help but feel a kind of compassion. And actually, this wasn't limited to him alone. Maria had become quite famous in this shopping district. Maria-chan, you should eat some odon every once in a while. Odin. If you don't eat your eggs and fish paste, you won't get big.
Ooh? Can't get a cream roll? If you don't eat certain things, you won't get big. How about Odin for today? Ooh, then I'll have some Odin.
Yep, that's the ticket. Why don't I stick a whole bunch in there? Want mustard?
I can't handle spicy things.
I see. Then you make sure you don't let it spill on the way home. It'll sure be delicious while it's hot.
Ooh, thank you.
She'd planned on getting some sweet pastries for dinner. But since Odin had been recommended to her, she would be having that tonight instead. Letting someone else determine the menu makes for an unexpected and interesting meal. That's one way to put it. Very often, Maria had to decide what her dinner would be on her own, so it was easy for the menus to get a little one-sided. So it felt fun to have a meal she hadn't anticipated.
Thanks for giving us extra, mister.
Send my regards to your other friends at home. No stuffing yourself on your way back. Go straight home and eat it there.
Ooh, thanks.
Odin is noodles. So basically, it was like, gee, it sure would be interesting to have a proper dinner instead of sweets and snacks. Phew. This girl doesn't eat properly. And that's sad. I don't know why that's sadder than any of the rest, because it's all very sad, but it's sad. It's good that she's getting decent food, don't get me wrong. And he was very nice to make sure that she eats, but damn. Rosa, Mom of the Year. Maria raised the bag with the Odin container high. Odin. I keep pronouncing it a little weird. And then it sounds like Odin. But that's a dude. Yep. The dad god. Okay.
Huh? What is it, Maria? The key isn't in my pocket.
Standing in front of the door to her house, Maria searched all over her body. And don't worry, I won't judge you for saying son instead of dad. It's just a simple mix-up, don't worry about it. The key to the house wasn't there. She always methodically put it in the same pocket. So there was no way she had put it in another pocket, but she searched her whole body just in case. Unsurprisingly, it wasn't there.
Did you drop it when you took your wallet out? No. When I took my wallet out, I definitely felt it. I also felt it when I searched my pocket part way here. It was there until part way. I didn't drop it. Ooh.
Even though the late autumn wind had been bearable when Maria had been thinking of returning home, where the heater was. Now that she was confused and had lost her key, that wind had tormented her. But no matter how hard she searched, she couldn't find her key. She turned out all her pockets and even tried taking off her jacket and hitting it, but to no avail. Of course, she also turned the knapsack Sakutaro was in upside down, but the key didn't come out.
Ooh. Ooh.
Something that should have been there wasn't where it was supposed to be. Why isn't the key there when I didn't do anything wrong? Why isn't it? Why? Why? Maria was cold and frustrated and angry, and she stamped on the ground. The bottom of her foot throbbed, but that didn't lessen her frustration. At the same time, her tears poured out.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
It wasn't her fault. So it was someone else's fault. But Maria didn't know who that someone was and could do nothing but continue to let out a moan of anger.
Yuri, I'm sure you dropped it part way. Let's look for it, okay? Let's return on the road we came by and search, okay? Ugh. Even though I went to all the trouble of buying Oden and got eggs and stuff for free, I won't be able to eat it while it's hot. Ugh. Maria, I know it's frustrating, but let's search, okay? It's no one's fault, so let's search.
Maria finally lent an ear to Sakutaro's words and began to trot back down the road she had come on. The wind was colder than before, and it felt like it was blowing in through the corners of her jacket in a mean way.
Yuri, let's watch our feet closely and search, okay? Then let's get home quickly. Let the heater warm us up and eat Oden, alright? I'm sure it'll be delicious. Gone. It's gone.
As Sakutaro encouraged her, Maria searched for the key. But she'd made it all the way back to the convenience store where she'd bought the Oden. She hadn't found it. Just in case, she asked the man at the convenience store whether they had found a dropped key, but they hadn't found anything. One more time she returned home, paying close attention to the area around her feet, but unsurprisingly, she didn't find it. She was no longer frustrated enough to stomp her feet, but hot tears dripped down her face. The Oden had cooled down completely. Even though she had been told it would be delicious when warm, she hadn't been able to eat it. Even though that man had given her so much free stuff.
Yuri, don't cry. Mama isn't coming back tonight. Let's do our best and search. Why can't I find it? Maria, don't cry. Let's do our best and search. Maria.
Maria was no longer able to hold back her tears. Sobbing, she clutched Sakutaro and held the bag of Oden, returning once more down the road she had come by. Perhaps because more and more houses and stores had turned their lights off by now, it was even darker and harder to search than before. and once again, without finding the key, she returned to the convenience store. Maria-chan, still can't find your key?
Ugh, my key. It's gone.
Wasn't your mother away for the night? So you can't get into your house without a key?
Ugh, can't get in.
Well, that's not good. Did you try going to the police? They might be able to help you.
Mama said not to talk to policemen, even if they start talking to me.
Oh, well, why is that? It was probably because Rosa would be liable for making such a young girl like Maria watch over the house by herself. And because she knew that this wasn't something that would be permitted by society. Yeah, no shit, Rosa. So Maria was indoctrinated into changing the stores she bought things at so that she didn't catch the eyes of adults, and into saying no more than a greeting to policemen, even if they talked to her. Maria had obediently done as she was told. Instead of considering why she must do that, she was much more concerned with meekly obeying because her mother had told her so. But the manager of the convenience store probably didn't think of it that way. In the first place, seeing such a young girl being forced to watch over the house alone, and so frequently, would make anyone worry. And then, after making the round trip between her home and the store once more, and arriving at the convenience store for a third time, a policeman was there. It's that child. Maria-chan, did you find your key?
Didn't find it.
What's your name, miss? The policeman asked her name, but Maria didn't answer. Did your mother tell you not to talk to policemen? Don't worry, no need to be scared of me. Have you eaten dinner yet, miss?
I bought some, but I couldn't get into my house, so I couldn't eat it.
What's your mother doing? Is she not coming home tonight? Is it her work?
Ooh.
Do you know how we can contact your mother at work? Maria hung her head limply. She didn't understand why the policeman was getting mad at her. No, he probably wasn't getting mad at her, but if this reached her mother's ears, then she would definitely be in trouble. Even if she didn't understand the reason why she would be in trouble, she at least understood that much. But the policeman wouldn't let Maria go, and her head was swimming from hunger. The policeman noticed that, and it was decided that he'd listen to her story as they ate in the police box. Maria was taken to the police box. She had her oden heated in a microwave oven, and even salty rice cakes and hot tea were brought out for her. She had been told not to talk to policemen, but after being asked about Sakutaro, she responded, starting to feel that this wasn't a bad person. And anyway, she wouldn't be able to return home now, so she didn't know what to do. She told her mama's work phone number, which she had been told to tell no one of, and to use only in a very, very serious situation. In the tatami room inside the police box, as she ate the oden, and that was so hot it felt like it would burn her, she watched the policeman making the phone call, lazily thinking, I'm probably gonna get in trouble.
Will Mama get mad at me? What do you...
He must have been listening to the phone ringing for a very long time. With the receiver up to his ear, the policeman looked up at the clock, grumbling. Maybe they aren't picking up because their business hours are over. Huh? Hello? Hello? Is this Anti-Rosa Limited? This is the Komatsugawa Police Department police box in front of Senbonzakura Station. Is President, President Ushiromiya available? Yes. What? She's on vacation?
Yes. Starting yesterday, the president has been on a 3-day vacation. Is there some business you have with her?
Oh, no, never mind. So, do you know where she might be? You haven't heard where to contact her, have you? Sure. Could you hold on for a second? Hey, anyone heard where the president went for her vacation? Or how to contact her? I heard she was going for an all-you-can-eat crabs in Sapporo with her boyfriend. I'm sure such a cold place will do wonders for shrinking the distance between them, don't you? I haven't heard how to contact them. Yep, understood. Welcome back. Hello. I hear she went to Sapporo, but I'm not quite sure how to reach her. Should I take a message? I see. What a shame. Well then, if you manage to get in touch with her again, could you tell her that we called? Sure, yes. After that, I was taken to the police department, which was even bigger, and ended up spending the night there. Then, they asked me various things about myself. The lady who called herself the district welfare officer came by and asked about a lot of things. And I was told, you poor thing. When I heard that, I learned for the first time. Am I a poor thing? That's not true. You're happy, Maria. Ugh. Then, Rosa came back. Maria was told to go to her room, but on her way back from the bathroom, she hid by the entrance to the living room and listened in on the exchange. The person who had come to visit was the female district welfare officer who had asked Maria various questions on that other day. You can't be so pushy. Maria's heart is too innocent and delicate, so if there was an insensitive kid there, she could be hurt. Please stop your pointless meddling. But in that case, miss, if the child is so delicate, why leave her home all alone? Shouldn't a mother be together with her child? I am together with her as much as I should be. I don't need to take instructions from you or for something like that. Oh, really? She's very well known in this area. They say her daughter frequently goes out at night to buy things and eat. Everyone was worried and looking out for her. How do you know that was my child? There's got to be plenty of children around this town, right? Don't just suddenly decide that it's my Maria. Kids sometimes walk around outside at night, right? How can you prove that they were all my child? It's well known around the shopping center that a girl holding a lion stuffed animal often stops by to eat dinner and buy things. Everyone treated Maria-chan with care out of concern for her. Sometimes people even escorted her home, thinking the night roads might be dangerous, you see. You can find lion-stuffed animals anywhere. It was none of their business escorting her home. Are they thinking of kidnapping Maria? Don't bother her. Maria is my child. I am raising her. I have no intention of putting her in some strange institution. Stop your needless meddling. Idiot. Does that lion-stuffed animal mean me? It's okay. I'm the one in trouble. It has nothing to do with you, Sakutaro. Maria hugged Sakutaro, continuing to watch her mother fearfully. I also wish I could be with Maria every day. But I'm a single mother, so I have to work. I may not look it, but I'm a president of a company, and I bear responsibility for my employees' well-being. I'm busy with my work all year round, so there's no time for me to rest. Really? But you've been on vacation these last 3 days, haven't you? I have not been on vacation. I stayed at my company all night, working. There's a mountain of matters to be taken care of that the other unreliable employees can't handle. Why are you lying like that? Someone from your company said that you were taking a 3-day vacation, you see. You went to Hokkaido with your boyfriend, right? Leaving your daughter by herself for 3 whole days. I don't know anything about this boyfriend.
I don't know anything about Hokkaido. Where are you getting this nonsense? Why? Why? Do you have any proof? What the hell? Don't just start butting in on someone else's family matters. I love Maria. I have my own way of loving her, so just keep your mouth shut. I didn't go on a vacation. I was just working the whole time. I was trying to finish things up at work with all my strength. All my strength, because I wanted to see Maria as soon as I could. I stayed at the company the whole time. I don't know anything about Hokkaido. Don't go ahead and just say something like that. Just get out. Get out. What's wrong with you? Get out. Get out! Rosa raged, her hair flying wildly. A teacup was knocked over from the force of her standing up, but far louder than that was the sound of her beating the table with both hands. When faced with this rage that could accurately be described as wide-eyed derangement, the district welfare officer couldn't help but be taken aback. And the same went for Maria, who was secretly watching this from the hallway. She had already seen her mother in a rage several times before this, but she had never seen her this crazed with anger. When she saw this, Maria was sure. This was no longer her mother. It was some other evil being that was possessing her mother's body. And then, she herself was discovered by the evil being. Maria knew that she was being reflected in the evil being's eyes. Her mind went blank, and she felt as though her field of vision was racing off into the distance. After fiercely closing in on Maria, Rosa mercilessly slapped her on her small shoulders and dropped her gaze towards the stuffed animal Maria was holding, Sakutaro. Maria, even though I told you so many times not to take that outside, you brought it with you, didn't you?
Lydia, it isn't Maria's fault. I told her to take me. That's not true. I brought Sakutaro on my own because I was lonely. So, Mama, it isn't Sakutaro's fault. Maria. It's not Sakutaro's fault. It's not Sakutaro's fault.
Instead of Maria, the brunt of Rosa's anger was aimed at the lion-stuffed animal Maria was holding. A girl went shopping in the middle of the night, always clutching a lion-stuffed animal. Because of that, she had become well known in the shopping center. Didn't I tell you not to take stuffed animals with you? Why? Can't you listen to what Mama says? Why? Why can't you follow Mama's rules? With every single word, she stamped her heel and banged furiously on the wall. Of course, she didn't make direct contact with Maria. However, the violence of the harsh sound certainly beat against her. Miss, stop that. Let go. I said let go, damn it. The district welfare officer had come back to her senses and was pinning Rosa's arms behind her back. But the instant Rosa was touched, she went wild, furiously throwing the welfare officer off. She hit the table and fell to the ground. A teacup on the table smashed on the floor, making a violent sound.
Maria didn't do anything wrong. It's my fault. So don't scold Maria. I'm the one who brought Sakutaro. It's not Sakutaro's fault. It's not Sakutaro's fault. So don't look at Sakutaro with those scary eyes. Don't look at him. Don't scold Maria. Don't scold Maria. Do you?
What were you doing just now? And a minute ago, too? Do you also play with dolls like that outside? Did you do it in front of the people in the store? So that's why they remembered you. Die, you brainless moron! Why are you such a dumbass? Answer me honestly. When you went out, you always walked around with that stuffed animal without telling Mama, right?
Stop using that weird stuffed animal talk. Speak with your own words, not a stuffed animal's. Sakutaro isn't a stuffed animal. He's my friend. Don't call him a stuffed animal. Don't. Yeah, I get it. It was called Sakutaro, was it? You took him with you all the time when you went shopping without telling Mama, right? Yeah.
Maria admitted it honestly. If she hadn't admitted it, then Sakutaro would have said something to take the blame. So by admitting it right away, she was protecting her small friend.
Only Sakutaro? Any others? You haven't been bringing weird things to school too, have you? Miss, surely your daughter has done nothing wrong. Stop this interrogation at once. You, stay quiet. I'm talking with my daughter, aren't I? Come on, Maria. Look at Mama when you talk. What's the answer to Mama's question? It wasn't just Sakutaro. All the rabbits were with me too. Do you have them with you now?
Maria fished around in her pockets, pulling out 4 ceramic rabbits with her tiny hand. The rabbits were her close friends, who could be together with her at school in Sakutaro's place. But when Rosa saw that, she shook her head slightly, as though dizzy. On a school notice, it had been written that Maria was apparently bringing toys to school and playing with them, and her family was instructed to try and prevent this. But Rosa had rejected that, blaming the teacher and phoning in a protest of her own to the school, saying that there was no way her child would bring toys to school. For nearly an hour, she had shouted at the vice principal to stop making false accusations about her daughter. To a certain degree, those at the school had grasped that Maria was a pitiful girl. They knew that the small toys she brought in were her only friends, so they had done their best to overlook it. But when the other students caught sight of them, some of the boys started complaining that only she could bring toys, and the school had racked their brains on how to cope with this. They had tried to gently send a warning by way of the mother, but after Rosa's overreaction, even Maria's teacher decided to overlook it. But now Rosa knew. She had been the one who was wrong, and her daughter really had been bringing toys to school. And those at the school had known that she was a disgrace who brought toys to school and played with them as though they were her only friends. To Rosa, who thought her daughter was just a little different from normal children, having this peculiar side of her daughter exposed and found fault with was, more than anything else, something she couldn't bear. So she howled. She raged. The district welfare officer tried to cut between Rosa and Maria again, but she only met with Rosa's wrath once more. Rosa once again threw the woman off with a face like a demon. And when even that failed to curb her anger, she stomped on the ground over and over again, so forcefully that it seemed she might break through the floor. Then, after seeming to come back to her senses for a second, she immediately froze her harsh breathing and asked Maria, "Maria, those rabbits in the band, are they your close friends?" I see. Isn't it great that you have a full 4 friends? As she said that, Rosa grabbed one of the rabbits from Maria's hand. Then she shoved it in front of Maria's eyes so she could see it very well. The cute rabbit holding a trumpet was a small doll like a chess piece. She slowly lifted it into the air. Of course, Maria's and Sakutaro's eyes also followed it. And then, with a speed that the eye couldn't follow, she smashed it against the wall. She had half imagined that this worst possible thing might happen, so she instantly realized what had been done. So Maria let out a short, despairing scream. It was in pieces, It had been small and sturdy, but that hadn't been enough to withstand her mother's fierce rage.
Because you didn't listen to what Mama told you, I broke one of them. From now on, every time you disobey something Mama says, I'll break another one. Remember that. Miss, you think to call yourself a mother after doing something like that? You think you can do something like that and not hurt your daughter? Hurt Maria? I'm also hurting, right? Who's gonna take responsibility for my wounds? Well, who is? Didn't I tell you to shut up? Stop it, Mama. It's my fault. Don't get mad at this lady. It isn't Maria's fault. It's mine. Don't get mad at Maria. Who do you? Didn't I tell you to stop playing with stuffed animals like that? In the first place, it's disgusting. You say a stuffed animal is your friend. Just how old are you? How old? Well, this is just a gross, crappy stuffed animal made of cloth and cotton, right? Is this the only kind of friend you have? If you have enough spare time to pretend this monstrous stuffed animal is your friend, go out and make some real human friends. Why can you never make any friends? That's why your class always treats you like a weirdo and makes fun of you. Give it a rest and get a hold of yourself already. Grow up from this stuffed animal play. Like I said, stop playing with that stuffed animal. Mama, give him back. Give Sakutaro back. Mama grabbed a hold of Sakutaro's head and took him from me. Then she smashed him against the wall over and over. It hurts. It hurts. I said stop, damn it. I told you to stop that stuffed animal act. It's because of this stuffed animal. That's why you can never make any friends. That's why you alone are pushed off to the side in your class and treated like a freak. I should never have given you a stuffed animal like this. I should never have given you such a disgusting stuffed animal. Stop it. Give Sakutaro back. Give Sakutaro back. Sakutaro's my friend. My best friend. As long as Sakutaro's there, I don't need anything else. So give him back. Give him back. For some reason, my frantic request just added oil to the fire of Mama's anger. Mama pushed my arm aside as I tried to grab Sakutaro and snatch him back. And in a bizarre way, she stuck her fingernails on both hands deep into Sakutaro, twisting him. The red muffler, which I had carefully wrapped for him every day, came off and fell to the floor. Sakutaro, who had been so precious to me, was twisted, smashed, torn at with fingernails so much. He was twisted painfully, his face curving in sadness. Then Mama's fingernails found a stitch on the neck and tore it. With the fingernails of both hands, she tore it apart. In that instant, Sakutaro's yellow cloth and the cotton inside burst apart. It looked almost like moist cotton candy. Sakutaro? Maria? Sakutaro? 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 The crumpled yellow cloth and the cotton candy flowing out were thrust right in front of my eyes. Then, through Mama's face, the evil being stated it clearly. Sakutaro is dead.
Kutaro. Sakutaro.
Crying noises.
Sakutaro.
More crying. Like, I could pretend to cry, but it's gonna sound horrible. And take all the actual sadness out. Because damn, that's... yeah, they're not pronounceable, and that's kind of the point. I think that's like meant to sound like when you're crying and just like, you know, it's not... You can't really form words anymore because you're crying that hard. Which is very impressive that you can write that down like that. Where you're just, yeah, exactly.
Maria, do not cry. Beatrice. Sakutaro was a good friend. As long as you do not forget that, he will always be with you. So do not cry. Bring him back to life. You can use a lot of magic, Beato. You can even bring Sakutaro back to life, right? About that... Of course, if Sakutaro had been my furniture, it would be easy. However, Sakutaro is your furniture. That makes it difficult for me. If you say it's difficult, that means it isn't impossible, right? Bring him back to life. Bring him back to life with the endless magic. To tell the truth, Sakutaro's vessel was a stuffed animal Rosa made herself, correct? That Rosa has denied Sakutaro. A life that is not permitted by its own mother cannot exist. Beatrice's words were feeble, because she knew that no matter what the excuse, it wouldn't be enough to call Maria and make her accept it. But she had to communicate the painful truth to her disciple and close friend. She had to tell her the fact that even with all of her own power, even she could not revive Sakutaro. As long as you continue to strongly believe in Sakutaro's existence, that soul will not disappear. So, Maria, please, do not be sad. Even now, look, believe that Sakutaro is smiling right over there. No. 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 You have to bring Sakutaro back to life. No. Give it up. There is no magic to revive Sakutaro. Despite that, you must strongly believe that Sakutaro will continue to exist as your close friend. That power will become magic. That's not magic. You have to bring Sakutaro back to life. You can't do it because Mama made him herself? Why did Mama make Sakutaro? It was to give him to me as a present, right? It was to make him my friend, right? So, why did Mama make it herself and break it herself? Why did Mama give birth to it by herself and try to break it herself? I don't understand. I hate Mama. Can't stand it. Too sad. Want to smash Mama up like she did to Sakutaro. Want to stick my fingernails in and tear her, turn her into cloth and cotton. I can't stand it, Beatrice. Sakutaro. From the darkness behind Maria's back, two massive jet black arms crept out, twisting around Maria as she sobbed in anger. Then, massive fingernails stuck into Maria's chest and stomach. Maria could not see that, but Beato could. Anger and sadness without any place to go will tear you apart. Beato knew that. She could see that. Yes. In the end,
Those massive arms were Maria's own. Those fingernails slowly started to eat into her chest and stomach. With their immense size and strength, those arms could probably tear Maria into bits easily. But Maria herself couldn't notice. Drowning in a sea of her own tears, she couldn't notice that her own arms were trying to tear apart her own chest.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. If Sakataro can't be brought back to life no matter what, I want revenge. I want to make Mama meet the same end. I want her to meet the same end as Sakataro. Beatrice, teach me magic for that. Teach me magic to beat Mama.
Is that truly how you feel?
Kill Mama. I'll kill her. No, that isn't Mama. It's the bad witch possessing Mama. I'll kill the witch, Mama. Ooh.
Very well. I shall give you that power. For tearing you and your beautiful heart apart, for giving you that pain, it is fitting that your heartless mother be torn apart considerably. I shall teach it to you. I shall teach you the abyss in the world of witches, of the depths where no light reaches.
Sakutaro, Sakutaro. I hate everyone. I hate Mama too, Ange too. I hate everyone. Everyone.
The world 12 years later, October 1998. Again, I'm gonna check how long the scene is. Okay. I keep saying like, oh, this is gonna be a really good episode, we're gonna get a really good bit, and I don't think we're gonna reach that bit today. Today is only pain. That's not true. So far it has been very painful though. Oof. Yeah, I think this episode really explains a lot about Maria. Yep, sadness and misery. And it's honestly very relatable. Not the very abusive parent, because my parents are cool, thankfully. But Maria's experiences in school are pretty similar to my own to a degree. Like people saying you're weird. People not understanding. Only being able to learn if you're interested, you know. Feeling like you're alone. So I feel extra bad for her because of that. I wish I could say like, oh, it's all going to get better, but I already know how this ends. I mean, we all know how it ends. It ends the same every time, you know, with the whole family dead. So that kind of sucks. Thank you for saying I'm not weird. I appreciate that. It's one of those things where, you know, it's very easy to call people like weird and strange. And without really thinking about it, because what in the end, what is weird or what is strange? Really, the real failure there is with the person saying that someone's weird, because it just means that you don't understand them yet. And you should try to understand other people, so being like, hey, you're weird, I'm not gonna bother. That's just lazy, you know? But we teach that to kids at a young age to, you know, cast others out and stuff. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I'm sure it happens to a lot of us. Yeah, it's like making a conscious decision to not find out more about someone. And that's just gonna make everything worse. I'm gonna save real quick. Trying to... I know which characters are coming up. I'm trying to remember their voices. I'll wing it, like always. I don't have a plan for this. For some I remember them pretty well, and I managed to do it consistently, I think. But not all of them. Yeah, we're on the same page, I can tell. Also, in terms of the story. So that's fun. Let's see. Yes, okay. Just looking at the time and stuff, and how we're doing in terms of the stream time. We're all good. Good. By my calculation, we're gonna get to the scene I'm looking forward to most next week. And we're gonna be starting with that. So that's gonna be great. That's actually perfect. So I'm very pleased. Yeah, you know what's coming up, so... Cat, I bet you know why I'm excited. Alright. Let's drink some more water, just in case. Okay. Oh, you finished it only a couple months ago? Nice. Are you gonna play the answer arcs? Are you looking forward to that? I love the answer arcs. They're very good. You just started it. Nice. You're in for a ride. In the best way. Well, there's... I would ultimately say play everything yourself, too. Or not too, I don't know. It depends. But reading it at your own pace is slightly different, and, reading it with your own sort of interpretation is different. And I want everyone to buy these games and play them. But, whatever works. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. I'd planned on taking a nap, but the boat was shaking really bad. Really was shaking bad. I gave up on sleeping and went up onto the deck. There, I was welcomed by the shining sun and a strong sea breeze. Amakusa had been doing some stretches on the deck. He must have a lot of time on his hands too. After all, it'll be several more hours before we reach Nijima. It would only have taken a couple dozen minutes by airplane, but there was the chance that the Nijima airport was under the Sumadera family's web. The harbor would probably be the same. For that reason, I had obtained a boat that would let me land while avoiding the harbor, no questions asked. I'd bumped into a cheery boat captain, plied him generously, and he had decided to help me out, amused. Still gonna be a while? I just asked the captain, and it sounds like it'll take a full 2 hours more. Well, beggars can't be choosers. The weather sure is nice. Feels like I'll burn. Going to read on the deck? You'll damage your boat. Amakusa apparently thought this because I was clutching Maria Neichan's diary under my arm. I'd been reading it half asleep, which is why I'd come back up still clutching it. How's it going? Think you'll be able to find the truth of Throkanjima from Maria-san's diary? Who knows? No matter how much I investigate what happened on that island, it won't make for anything more than a theory. There's no truth written into the message bottle or One-chan's diary, just a fairy tale with a witch walking around. I'm stuck. Looks like you've got nothing to look forward to except questioning those involved in Nijima. I imagine the witch hunters have showered them with questions over and over, so I'm pretty sure I won't find any new facts. So even though your hopes are that low, you're willing to spend a half-day trip on a boat to go to Nijima anyway. Talk about fickle. It's like a journey of self-satisfaction, so that I can say, I investigated. I'm not so naive as to seriously think that the truth of 12 years ago will be revealed. And when you're done with your self-satisfaction trip, what will you do next? Who knows? I haven't thought about it. I'll go to Nijima, ask some people who were involved. Then, after going to Rokonjima in the end and leaving some flowers, my journey will be over. Several days have already passed since this journey began. After being told by Bernkastel on the roof of that building to search for the truth of 12 years ago, I'd left on a journey like trying to grasp a cloud. At the time, I felt as though I'd experienced something mystical, and had the feeling that I might be able to grasp some kind of miracle at the end of this journey. But after several days passed, my excitement died down. On that day, when I stood on the roof of that skyscraper, my heart was completely cornered and dead. So I'd wanted from the bottom of my heart to be released from the cage of my body and rise into the sky. And I'd crossed the fence in order to die. Maybe experiencing the desire to die and actually stepping forwards, throwing my body down, caused some kind of mystical experience inside my head, making me think that I had received a message from a witch. The excitement from my jump lessened over time, and the more I came back to my senses, the more this journey lost its meaning. But I didn't even consider suspending this journey just because of that. If I stop this journey, it'll mean acknowledging that the message from the witch was an illusion. And I felt as though that meant throwing away the promise the witch made, and any chance that someone from my family might come back. So, because it was hard to believe that those events were an illusion, I've continued my journey. I don't seriously believe that this journey will change anything. It's even up to me when to end this journey. It's up to me to choose where the final destination is. In the end, this journey is only for my self-satisfaction. Self-satisfaction, huh? It sounds bad when you say it, but I think that's actually what life is all about. Oh? If that's the answer you've reached after hovering over the line between life and death in the mercenary business, that's probably pretty deep. Don't take it so lightly. What I'm trying to say is that the only one who can acknowledge you in this world is you yourself. Amakusa continued stretching as he spoke, in an irritatingly fresh way. Hearing it told to me as though from a teacher made me instinctively want to resist, but what he was saying was extremely sensible. That may be true. People work hard when they want to be acknowledged by someone. In most cases, that someone is their parents. Children learn how to work hard because they want to be praised by their parents. Although, that's why I never learned. Sorry, that's not how I meant it. What I'm trying to say is that there's nothing wrong with self-satisfaction. No matter who praises you, it's meaningless unless you can accept it. Turning it around, even if no one praises you, that doesn't matter as long as you can accept it. Self-satisfaction tends to contradict a desire to improve oneself, so we're usually taught that it's bad. Somehow, your argument seems like a pretty fresh take on it, Amakusa. The anguish of the human world comes when you want someone to acknowledge you, but you don't know what it is you should be striving for. I had a time like that too. I wanted to be acknowledged by someone, but I didn't know what I wanted them to acknowledge about me. And since I didn't know what to strive for or how far I should go to be acknowledged, I did a lot of crazy things. And the answer you reached was self-satisfaction. Sounds bad, but that's how it is. Rich is the one who is content with what they are, they say. If I'm satisfied with my life, it doesn't matter what other people say. It's the same for your life and for this journey. No one has any right to criticize you other than you yourself, Ange-san. You're the only one who determines the meaning and results of your journey. If it's been a meaningful journey for you, then that's more than enough. I always did take you for a flippant ladies' man, but you really do say weird things every once in a while. I'll bet you think saying stuff like that will make you popular. Of course not, of course not. That's not how I meant it at all. Looks like you want to be alone. Well, head over to see the boat, Captain. Please, take it easy. Amakusa apparently decided I was in a bad mood. Although, I didn't feel that way myself. Or he might have finished a set of stretches and wanted to cool off in the shade. The sea winds were strong, but not enough to cool the rays of the sun. Amakusa disappeared. Only I remained. Self-satisfaction is life itself, huh? That's just boring. Life is nothing without greed. I noticed that Mammon had suddenly appeared, her abundant hair fluttering over by the prow of the ship. It's true that a life of greed would be fun, but unlike you, humans have a limited lifespan. If greed is eternal, that means a person will have desires even in the last moment before they die. Having desires means there's something you want. Something you don't have, some way you aren't complete. I'm sure it's tough to die when you can't think of your life as being a full one. So I'm sure self-satisfaction is necessary. I see. Because of the existence of a lifespan, you have to compromise like that? All of my masters had very long lifespans, so I've never thought of it. I wonder if humans live for the purpose of becoming satisfied. If so, it's probably easiest to live without desires. I see. So that's why greed is one of the 7 deadly sins. Your praise honors me. Apparently that counted as a compliment in Mammon's eyes. She turned and gave a graceful bow. Ange-sama, do humans live so that they can find satisfaction at the moment of their deaths? Wouldn't it be pretty rough if you felt you were lacking something when you died? If so, then humans live only so that they can meet a satisfying death. They live so that they can have a better death. They live so that they can die. This kid's saying something pretty incredible. I see. As I'd expect from a demon's steak. However, it might be the truth. Humans suffer because they aren't satisfied and live only to find satisfaction. In other words, that might be the same as a desire to die satisfied. I can't counter that. People live in order to be satisfied, and they hope to die that way. So it's really painful when you don't know how to find that satisfaction. Just how can you find something like that in a human's life? By being acknowledged. By hearing someone say, "You are happy." If it doesn't matter who acknowledges them, I'll do it. Yeah, that's the problem. People don't know who needs to acknowledge them. So, searching for this person who can acknowledge them is the journey of their life. It sounds strange. Whether you're acknowledged or not, it supposedly doesn't change your circumstances. And yet, if you are acknowledged, you will be satisfied, while if you aren't, then you won't. It's almost like the bluebird. Because you can't notice the bluebird even though it's already in the cage. You have to go out on a journey, searching everywhere. What the heck? Human lives sure are stupid. That's right. Amakusa said something really good. Rich is the one who is content with what they are. Was it? I don't know where that proverb came from, but it's deep. Basically, if you can't find enough satisfaction unless someone else acknowledges you, that's the same as not acknowledging yourself. The ultimate in self-fulfillment is acknowledging yourself. That's right. Because if you can know that you're fully satisfied, there's no need to be acknowledged by anyone. Just by taking notice of the small things, the human's foolish journey of life can be ended easily. You can spend the rest of your life playing and having a good time. A human's life is so ridiculous. Mamon's choice of words was bad, but it was surely the truth. If most of a human's life is a journey with the hopes that someone will acknowledge them so that they can achieve a satisfied death, then when they realize the person doing the acknowledging isn't someone else but they themselves, that pointless journey can end. Humans who have ended that journey can probably spend the rest of their lives as they wish, with their heads held high. How noble, how praiseworthy would that be? You know, it seems Amakusa's on pretty bad terms with his parents. That makes sense. Any decent parent would want him to get the hell out of the trade he's in. Does that really matter, though? As long as it's fun for the person in question. Exactly. That's what it comes down to in the end. Criticism formed by the observations of other people doesn't matter. If your existence is firmly acknowledged by you yourself, that's enough. If you can live with confidence in yourself, you'll surely be able to accept and be satisfied with any kind of lifestyle. I'm sure Amakusa will eventually eat a stray bullet on the battlefield and get seriously injured. He might even die. But I don't think he'd view that as something unfair. I'm sure he'd cackle about how that's also part of life. What a great way to live. I could fall for the guy. Pitiful humans who can't acknowledge themselves. Wander about searching for that their whole lives when, without anything being accepted, they do nothing but grumble and die while still unsatisfied. How pitiful. Compared to people whose lives drag on without any purpose, Amakusa is more likely to eventually die by the roadside, but I think he's much more noble for living his life with his head held high. Aren't the winners in life those who achieve enlightenment? If they can do that even a little sooner, they'll be able to live that much more of their life effectively. With Mamon's words, I finally accepted a certain fact. In the past, I've called that girl unusual, a little strange. However, that wasn't true. All she did was keep her head held high and finish that journey faster than anyone else. Maybe that's what made Maria Nechan so amazing. When she was at the age where she might or might not enter the first year of elementary school, she had already reached that point. For people like us, looking at her life from the outside, it wasn't something we'd call blessed. But even though days like that were engraved in her diary, they always finished up by saying that it was a happy day. Even though the part of her mother that didn't love her daughter came and went, she believed that her mother loved her. The mother's love that didn't exist, she created herself, filling her world with love. Others might observe her as an unsatisfied, pitiful girl, but she herself acknowledged that she was satisfied, and so she was happy that way. It's easy to observe that as something pitiable and sad, but to her that was an outsider's opinion, so it didn't matter. Whether or not it was happy for her was the only important thing. It's just like how when people who live in the city point to the lifestyles of those in rural areas and mourn their inconvenience and feel sympathy for them, it's really none of their business. If those who live there are satisfied with what they have, that's more than enough. By
finally noticed something. I noticed it just now. I did something horrible to Maria One-chan. And to you all and Sakutaro as well on that day. Whether magic exists or not, that's not up to other people to decide. It's up to you yourself. Whether magic exists to Maria One-chan is a problem for Maria One-chan to decide, not me. And yet, when I was young on that day, I said it. By saying there is no way magic exists, I hurt her. The fact that magic doesn't exist in my eyes matters in my world. But denying it even in One-chan's world for that reason is totally misguided. Mariage Sorcières, the Witches' Alliance Maria One-chan created. I was invited into it and told to become a witch with them. Thinking with it a new, interesting game, I went along with that for a while. But because of the cruelty of youth, I got tired of it halfway through. And I tore her pure heart apart with sharp words. At that time, we must have gotten into a huge fight. I forgot about it right away, but she couldn't forget about it. After all, to her, magic was a natural power that really existed, and she believed that she'd be able to share it with me. To Maria One-chan, magic is a power that can interpret the world as blessed now, which can truly make everything blessed. She just wanted to share that with me too. The young me tore that feeling apart. So she closed herself up in a shell, assuming that she wouldn't be able to share her magic with anyone. If that's true, then Lady Maria's journey through life wasn't over after all. If she'd been able to accept herself, then there'd be no need to collapse just because you denied her, Ange-sama. One-chan was young. She still hadn't reached a philosophical viewpoint like Amakusa. Yeah, now I understand. That's why the Witches' Alliance called Mariage Sorcière was necessary. An alliance where each acknowledges that the other is a witch. That's right. I'm pretty sure that was the first article in the agreement of Mariage Sorcière. Witches of the alliance would acknowledge each other and respect each other. That's the deepest and only meaning of the Witches' Alliance. Maria One-chan wanted to share with me the secret laws to make the world happy, called magic. But I was young, and she was too. I hurt her with innocent cruelty. On that day, I said cruel things to you all and Sakutaro. I said there was no way you exist. How rude. We acknowledge that we exist ourselves. We're not like humans with our souls half asleep. I think, therefore I am. Whether you acknowledge or deny magic, the existence of the magic called the Seven Stakes of Purgatory is a fact. As long as we acknowledge it ourselves, to borrow your words. It truly would be violence for another person like me to deny it. I'm sure that'd be like having your true mother yell, "I wish you had never been born." No, disappear. Even after being slammed by all those words, Maria One-chan's magic made her believe in her mother's love. Sakutaro, her magic friend, always encouraged her. They kept saying that her mother loved her, that she was coming home late because of her work, and that she would definitely bring back a present. Even after Maria learned that her mother's work wasn't really the cause, magic allowed her to continue believing. And by believing that her mother loved her, by acknowledging herself, she filled her world with love and peace and serenity, establishing it completely. What happened 12 years ago? What happened to my family? This was never a journey to search for that. Then what kind of journey is this? It was a journey to apologize to Maria One-chan for what happened that day.
don't know why, but that's what I think. If I hadn't hurt her, the incident 12 years ago might not have occurred. That's what I think. I have no basis for it. I don't have a clue how hurting One-chan could be connected with that mysterious incident several years later. But for some reason, I can't imagine that there's no connection. A witch caused that incident, and the culprit is the Golden Witch, Beatrice. And Beatrice was part of the Mariage Sorcière alliance of witches. I horribly hurt the other witch of that alliance. I hurt her with the thought that magic doesn't exist. So several years later, a crime caused by a witch occurred, and a 2-day period that couldn't be explained with anything but magic was thrust in my face, thanks to the message bottle. Those are two very different things. There's no way I wasn't involved somehow. I don't get it. It could be coincidence, or it could be fate. For some reason, I started thinking like that on this journey. And what's your basis for it? I have none. I just think it's true. The Japanese sure are interesting. Even when they're the victim, they feel as though they did something wrong and apologize for no reason. I could understand if he said, "I hate Beatrice for stealing my family," or something. But you really are weird, feeling guilty for no reason and apologizing. Of course I hate Beatrice. I couldn't continue this journey without that feeling. But it's okay to choose yet another purpose for this journey. There's nothing wrong with adding on a goal of apologizing for past sins, in addition to getting revenge on a witch for what happened 12 years ago. I can at least go to Rokkanjima, apologize for my reckless remarks, and offer flowers. No, there's something better than flowers. And I think that would be more fitting for One-chan. I stood up, not minding that the sea breeze scattered my hair and concentrated my mind. I lifted my palm up to the height of my head and imagined a vast space. Ange-sama, be quiet. Come, arise. I am the witch apprentice, Ange Beatrice. I was excommunicated, but I was once a member of the same alliance, and you are the dearly missed furniture who played with me. Answer to my call. It was hard to tell in the middle of the day, but a faint blue light gathered around the palm of my hand. Then, Sakutaro's form was revived. It truly did bring back memories, that figure. His cute ears, his bright red muffler. It came off easily, so One-chan faithfully rewrapped it all this time, didn't she? Sakutaro, do you recognize us? Do you know who we are?
Come on, Ange.
He's back.
With a sleepy face, as though waking up from a long slumber, Sakutaro looked all around him as he spoke. It's been a long time, Sakutaro. Pretty sure this is the first time I've summoned you with my own power. And now I'm the only one who can summon you. Those words might have been a bit cruel. Sakutaro's face clouded over. In the past, I denied you. Now that I've summoned you, it means I've accepted your existence.
Are you sure? Is it really alright for me to be summoned into Ange's world?
His eyes were a bit frightened. It was only natural. I, who had played with him like a friend before, had suddenly denied him and tried to burn him with the magic-resisting toxin. It was only natural that he was scared. I apologize for that day. To you too, Maman. And to the rest of you. At some point, the rest of the 7 sisters had gathered on the deck. No, they're always there. Always by my side. As long as I acknowledge that it's okay for them to be there, they'll always appear. You certainly do exist. Lucifer, and Leviathan, and Satan, and Belphegor, and Mammon, and Beelzebub, and Asmodeus, and Sakataro too. Are you sure? You're the one challenging Beatrice-sama, Ange-sama. Is it okay for one in a position of denying witches to acknowledge us? As to whether magic exists or not in my world, sorry, but let me put that on hold. It's not like I myself acknowledge the existence of magic.
But then, doesn't that contradict the fact that you're acknowledging us?
It's because magic exists for people who believe, even if I don't. If someone believes, then magic will exist in the human world. That fact won't change in the slightest whether I believe in magic or not. No, it mustn't change. That person just had to hold their head up high and believe in their own magic. I acknowledge that. So it wouldn't be strange at all for all of you to exist. Quite a play on words, but it's an interesting interpretation. What you're saying, Ange-sama, is probably a devil's proof. A devil's proof?
Right? To prove the existence of demons, you just need to find one. But it's impossible to deny the existence of demons. And we're here. That means that whether Ange-sama believes in magic or not, our existence is unshakable. Ryu? The magic-resistant toxin is disappearing from Ange.
You're right. Even though you're in a position of denying magic, why? That's probably because I learned what it means to respect and acknowledge. Right now, I might be able to understand the depths of Maria Onee-chan's and Beatrice's magic. In the past, I didn't believe in things like magic. Thinking something like that couldn't exist, I acted like I was closing my eyes tightly and couldn't see anything. But now, I'm different. I get the feeling I can look right at the thing called magic and close in on its true nature. How frustrating. It's truly rare to find a human so free of the magic-resisting toxin in this day and age. And she has such an uncommon genius for being a witch. Oh my god. Thank you for the bits, Camel, and for stopping by just for that, apparently. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a good evening. And good night before you get to sleep. Seriously, thank you.
That's right. If Ange-sama tried to become a witch right now, she could grow to be a great witch, maybe even at Beatrice-sama's level. Even so, she has acknowledged our existence and is our master. Most likely, Ange-sama will be our final master. Let us think of this as our final service and apply ourselves to the fullest. Bleh. But I just can't stand that Ange-sama still doesn't believe in magic herself. Ange-sama, please believe in magic too. It feels like a waste to finally have a master and have it not be a witch.
Even though you have outstanding talent that could make you one of the greatest witches, your goal is to attack witches. It's so frustrating. Well, even so, that's your life, the way you live. And in the world where you've decided that, there's nothing we can do to complain. Thanks for understanding me. Yeah, whether magic exists to me or not, it's up to me to decide. Regardless of whether magic actually does exist somewhere in the world or not. When I think about it, this world is so vast and yet so small. Billions of people live on the earth. But I probably won't even meet 1% of those people. Even so, I will speak of a world. My world, which doesn't know even 1% of the world. I'm not qualified to deny the laws of a world I don't know. So, just because magic doesn't exist in my world, I can't deny that magic exists in a world I don't know. That makes it a true devil's proof. No. Maybe it's more like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. I can be confident in the world I know. So even if that's denied by a complete stranger who doesn't know a thing about my world, that's nothing to worry about. And in the same way, I've got no right to deny a world that I don't know, just because I don't know about it. Therefore, regardless of whether there's magic in my world or not, I can't deny the magic Maria Nechan taught me.
Who do you? After all, even if you've never seen it, magic exists.
Yes, that's why, as I've already said, you Friends of the Witches' Alliance, Mariage Sorcière, can't be denied by me or anyone else. I proclaimed that most important part again. Even though the sea breeze and the crashing of the waves were noisy, it was a time of silence. Both Sakutaro and the Seven Sisters of Purgatory reflected upon my words. And probably I did too. Does magic exist? Do witches exist? While ignoring what the answer would be for my own world, I acknowledged their existence. That contradiction was what I'd proclaimed so boldly.
Thank you, Ange.
If you'll acknowledge that much, can't you acknowledge witches too? No, that was a foolish question. You already have a clear answer to it. Sorry. Though, I do acknowledge that witches might exist somewhere in this world. But that doesn't shake my world. You won't acknowledge witches or magic. You'll definitely expose the truth of the Rokkenjima. Right? Yes, that's my world. Even if a real witch exists, I won't acknowledge it in my world, no matter how much that witch tries to convince me. Your position is to attack witches, Ange-sama. And I understand well that you haven't the slightest wavering in that feeling. We are your furniture, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. We will always be by your side. We'll always be waiting for the day that we can be useful.
Although, since you don't believe in magic, we can never be anything more than people to talk to.
That's enough for now. We've been left room to exist. For that alone, we should thank and acknowledge Ange-sama.
In short, all of us are all together again. Uryu. Kya, Sakutaro, let me squeeze you.
When Sakutaro was overcome with emotion and tears came to his eyes, the Seven Sisters closed in and mobbed him. They were also celebrating a long-missed reunion. If their existence is permitted, they're definitely capable of existing here. No, even if I don't permit it, they can exist. Because I acknowledge them, they showed their reunion's joy to me as well. As I watched over that scene, I reflected over what this journey of mine meant. I wonder if everyone will forgive me this way. You've done enough. We are furniture. Just being summoned, just being allowed to be by your side makes us happy.
Uryu. Ange, thank you very much.
Come to think of it, why was I able to summon Sakutaro? No, it's the other way around. Why wasn't One-chan able to summon Sakutaro? Maria One-chan had despaired, thinking that Sakutaro had died, which meant she hadn't been able to summon him like this anymore. In the past, One-chan said it was more advantageous in a summoning to have a vessel. However, a vessel is like training wheels, and it shouldn't be absolutely necessary. In other words, even if the stuffed animal lion that was Sakutaro's vessel didn't exist, it should have been possible to summon him. No, when you put it like that, It's even a little doubtful whether summoned things can be limited by life and death. Moreover, Sakutaro should have been an especially important friend to Maria Onechan. She should have been able to strive hard to summon him one more time. It certainly was sad that the original stuffed animal vessel had been torn apart, but why did he die and become impossible to summon again?
That's because, at the time, Maria saw my stuffed animal torn and decided that I died.
It's the same as the existence of magic. If Sakutaro has died in Lady Maria's world, then he can't exist in her world.
Idiot.
The shock of having her beloved stuffed animal torn apart had left a wound in her heart serious enough to prevent her from summoning her irreplaceable close friend. In Maria Onechan's eyes, Sakutaro died. So even if Sakutaro can exist like this to me, he cannot exist before her.
I always was with Maria. When Maria cried, I was always right beside her, telling her not to cry. But my form, my voice, nothing of me will reach Maria now.
Sakutaro hung his head, looking sad. After that incident, the nature of Mariage's sorcière rapidly began to change. Before then, the alliance was a peaceful thing. But after that incident, it grew full of shadier things, focusing on how to curse people you hate. Onechan's diary began to show a clear change. A diary is a mirror that reflects one's heart as it is. It probably showed the personality called Maria die, and be reborn as the evil witch personality, Maria. When she buried that diary in hatred and sadness, her heart surely wasn't satisfied. Because it wasn't satisfied, she had to bury it with hatred and sadness. And while still unsatisfied, she met with death. I wonder if her unsatisfied soul has a hole opened in its chest from sadness even now, and continually wanders, dripping tears down and calling Sakutaro's name. Onechan needs you.
Idiot.
What can I do to revive you in Maria Onechan's world? If I can learn that method, I'll be able to save Onechan. That's the method of atonement I've been given. What can be done to revive Sakutaro?
To Maria, my vessel had a very important meaning.
The vessel. In other words, if we could revive the lion-stuffed animal.
But Mama Rosa made my stuffed animal herself, so only she could make it.
Even inside the diary, Maria Onechan had asked this of Beatrice and was refused for that reason. The magical significance of a stuffed animal being unique and handmade is very large. Then, if we could make the same thing once more. But Aunt Rosa is already gone from this world. We can't make the same thing again. Was there ever another identical stuffed animal made, or anything like that? Is a stuffed animal made to be Lady Maria's birthday present and is the only one of its kind in the world. A handmade and unique vessel. That's why it conceals a great magical power. And, if lost, it cannot be obtained again. It won't revive. Because she knew that, Maria Onechan watched that stuffed animal, which was unique in that world, get torn apart, and despaired. Because it was the only one of its kind in the world, and she couldn't permit a compromise such as buying another one. She had despaired from the bottom of her heart. But Sakutaro is right here. Even without a vessel, he's here. Because I acknowledge that he certainly exists in my world. Hey Sophie, welcome to the stream. Yeah, running a little later than usual. I think we're near, I'm near the end of this scene though, I think. I'm gonna take this opportunity to drink some water. Whew. Yes, good. Hydrate. You know what? I'm gonna say while we're at it. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, definitely running a little late, but that's good. Because then next time, we can start on one of the most interesting scenes in this whole series. It has stiff competition because it's a very good series, but yeah. For sure. I kind of stopped mid-sentence there, sorry. Because I acknowledge that he certainly exists in my world. Even if Maria Onechan doesn't acknowledge him, that cannot be denied. Right? Logically, that's true. But I think using the same logic to make Lady Maria accept him could be difficult.
Maria, I'm not dead. I'm right here. Uru.
I'm sure that on Rokonjima, I'll be able to be reunited with Maria Onechan. And no matter what, I'll revive the you that's inside Onechan and let you be reunited.
Can you do it?
It'll probably be hard. Just like how, after being invited into the Witches' Alliance, I rejected it without understanding what it meant. She might also reject your existence. But I've got to do it. That's the only way I can atone for my sins.
Ange-sama,
What's waiting on Rokonjima? And what will happen? What will be created? Or maybe nothing will happen. That island, which was the beginning of everything, is the final destination of this journey. You all are the furniture of a witch, so, as your master, I have to take you home. To the Witch's Island, to Rokonjima. Even though the rays of the sun had been so strong, at some point, clouds had started to hang down. The spray that hit my cheek might not all have come from crashing waves. Ange-san, looks like we're gonna get a bit of a shower. Maybe you'd better go below deck. Amakusa called out to me with an expression that said, "Oh, you're still here?" When I looked up, I saw that the island's silhouette had grown much larger. We might reach land very soon. I remembered that the weather report had mentioned scattered rains. The sky wasn't dark enough for rain clouds. It'll probably be just for a short time. Even though the rain was light enough not to be a pain, having rain start to fall as we approached the island felt like some kind of fate. It was raining on October 4th, 1986 as well. I'm approaching the Rokonjima of that day, and not just in distance. I went back down with Amakusa. He was carrying what looked like a really large and heavy golf bag. It was something Amakusa had brought back with him on a day when we'd split up. I didn't inquire as to its contents, but it was hard to imagine that they were anything peaceful. I won't go so far as to ask what's inside, but it looks heavy. Why are these things so darn heavy all the time? A French instructor taught me something interesting about that once. He said they should always be heavy. After all, the human life is heavier than the world, so these should even be even heavier. It'd be nice if you didn't need to use them. That would be nice. Amakusa set the golf bag-like luggage down beside him. A two-propeller aircraft touched down on the runway. Considering the weather, it couldn't have been a pleasant flight. Everything after this flight had been suspended due to weather. Cutting through the drizzle as she traveled the runway, Sumadera Kasumi entered the lobby with 2 black suits as guards. The 4 black suits who had been waiting inside the lobby stood up and respectfully lowered their heads in salute. Kasumi-sama.
Propeller planes certainly do shake. I wouldn't want to ride one again.
We have a car prepared. Please, this way. They got into 2 luxury cars that had been rented.
Ange should be heading for Okajima. A deserted island. How convenient. You've arranged for some tools, I take it?
Yes, ma'am. The black suit in the passenger seat put a heavy bag that had been set by his feet onto his lap, opened the catch with a click, and showed Kasumi what was inside. Inside were several silver lumps of carefully wrapped aluminium foil. He peeled one open to show her. A black, blunt automatic pistol peeked its face out. Uh-oh. Our girl's in danger. The first day, October 4th, 1986. Our girl's in danger, but we are back to 12 years ago. Back on the island. But we're gonna dive into that next time, and it's gonna be. I've been promising this for I think 4 weeks now, but it's gonna be wild, I swear. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna put so many things like, what's the opposite of into perspective? If you have big theories, this next part will probably be like a big what the fuck to you, in the best way. It's a big payoff, yes. But like in a wait, what kind of way? I feel like by saying that, I've already given stuff away. But no, it'll be fine. It'll be fun. And we're all gonna find out together what the fuck's going on. I hope. Yeah, honestly, a lot of people have been coming in who have already read the series or part of the series, and everyone's been so good about not spoiling anything. Honestly, thank you all so much for that. It's so great that we all just sort of quietly agree not to spoil anything and then just keep our mouth shut. It's great. I don't know, it's neat. Yes, it's such a good game, and knowing what would happen before you experience it really does ruin it, and it's just neat that everybody agrees on that. I like it a lot. I like the people who like these games a lot. It's a nice fandom-ish thing to be in. I'm not super in the fandom, and parts of the fandom are, like all fandoms, rabid and weird. Weird isn't the right word. Anyway. I don't know, this is good, I like it. I say this every week. Yeah, honestly, what I would recommend, once you're done with the whole series, wait a couple years until you feel like you forgot some of it, and then play it again. Because playing it the second time is a whole experience in and of itself. Like, there's so much foreshadowing, and there's so many hints, and there's so much detail that if you read it again while knowing what happens later on and how it all works, there's still a lot to discover. Like, it's actually super replayable. And if you wait long enough, the emotional part hits just as hard. That's my take. That's been my experience so far. Yeah, there's even in episode 1 there are so many details. Sometimes I have to like put effort into not reacting because I'll be like, "Oh shit. That's what that means. That's what that means. I get it now." But I don't want to give anything away, so I have to put a lot of effort into not reacting. Which is kind of fun too, like trying to hide it, trying to be sneaky about it to not spoil it for anyone. You know, yeah. I don't know. I love this series a lot. It's pretty obvious by now. And yes, oh, the music is amazing. It's so good. Yeah. I'm gonna bop us over to the end screen, say my goodbyes, and then leave you with a little bit more of the music. And I'm gonna try to upload the VOD highlight thing, you know, the one that stays on Twitch forever, and the video on YouTube. I'm gonna try to upload those a bit quicker this time, so you won't have to wait a whole week. Since I'm running behind because of missing a week, I want to speed that shit up. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. I'm very lazy. But hopefully I'll get that done soon, and then you could just rewatch or catch up if you've missed any of this. You know, it's all on the YouTube. It's on Twitch, and the new stuff will be there soon. I'll do my best. Thank you. And yes, that is Sakatoto's cross. Little metal. I'm so glad you noticed. Well, if you want to go back, they're all here on Twitch, and there's a link to my YouTube, and yeah, should be easy enough to find. I hope. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yes. So next week we'll be back with that. On Monday, I might take a break from I Am Dead and play something chill and weird instead, and it'll be more like a chatting hangout stream because I feel like doing something chill for a change. Although I Am Dead has been very chill. So yeah, stick around for that. Not literally right now, but I don't know. I've been reading for 3 hours. I'm tired. I Am Dead has been so much fun, and the setting and the Britishness of it all is... It's nice. I don't know. It's neat. I like it. Also the random small critters that we've been finding. It's one of my favorite things. Alright. With all that said and rambled, see you at the next stream or the next video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, whether you're lurking or in the chat or catching the videos. I appreciate it a whole lot. And extra shout out to Camel, thank you for the bits, even though you're probably asleep now. But yes, have a great evening, sleep well, once you get around to it. Have a great week, and see you next time. Thank you again for watching, bye-bye.